Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Hey y'all. Hi. What's up, everybody? It's your girl BondyBlue, and I'm back for another BondyBlue show. You heard me? Okay, so got a little show for y'all today. All right, we're gonna be reading some comments up in this today. Okay. I like I told y'all yesterday, I'm working on like a members only content that I could keep up with, which would be like a weekly wrap up for me. And I think I just found one of the topics. Because Shan Booty was talking about like unrequited love, like what it is when you are in relationships that are unrequited in some way, whereas y'all are never on the same page, right? But in relation to each other or wanting to be in a relationship, love that's not equal. Just a like talking about that brought a lot of shit back to me. Um, because there was a point in my life where that was such a huge ache for me, like this yearning, this the unrequited shit, the imbalance of shit, and then realizing I was choosing, like, I don't know why y'all be like low-key psychopathic motherfuckers, like especially the bitches. Oh my god, I feel like I was low-key choosing psychopathic bitches when I think back on how often these people would enjoy hurting me. You know what I'm saying? So I know we're going straight into it. But the reason why I said that is because I was watching her little snippet, and it kind of reminded me of that space because I haven't really been there in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Especially not like it was when I was younger. I don't know about y'all, but getting your fucking heart broke by people you genuinely like love when you're very, very young, especially after going through so much, like my relationships became some type of relief to me because of what I was going through, whether it was what was going on at home or at school or the Katrina shit. Those relationships were something that got me out of the depressive states that I would be in early on in life, right? So the dependency that was created, you know what I mean? And I'm like, when I think back on that time in my life, how often I had suicidal ideations, how often I am asking the question, why am I not enough? And then, as you get older, you go to therapy, and then you always connect that shit right back to aches that you didn't realize you had with your parents at some point. It is always directly reflected in how you choose to be in relationships. And the crazy part is how unaware you are of the things that you're doing that basically, like, they create this ache. You're in some ways creating the ache, creating the yearning because you haven't really unwrapped yourself from why you're attracted to people that don't want to give themselves to you freely, but want to play a game of cat and mouse with you in some type of way. Which is actually really fucking sick when you think about it. Child, some of the things. But I definitely feel like we're going to be talking about that because, girl, why did I make the mistake? Tell me if this happens to y'all. I made the mistake of playing an old Jill Scott song. Girl, why did I do that? Because Jill Scott was such a lot of my heartbreaks that I went through when I was younger can be directly correlated to a song or album that Jill Scott had come out with during that time, because that's the time period that was like early 2000s and shit, right? So there's a song called My Petition, but the very first one that related to like a heartbreak was Cross My Mind. Oh my God. When that fucking song would come on, you just run across my mind. It was just such a perfect way of expressing what it feels like when you think about people that you had to let go of, but that you had, like there's still a fondness there, right? You still like them in some capacity, but the relationship isn't good for you. Like that shit is the way them bitches in the early 2000s used to be hitting on what the women's was going through, and I was still very young. But like, girl, it was something else. But that My Petition, girl, I just listened to My Petition and then started to sing them lyrics. And you know how you don't remember the song but until you hear it? And then I heard it and remember every single lyric. I was singing the fuck out that shit before I came up here. Okay? You keep lying to me. And it hurts. I believe you owe it to me. Give it to me like you said you would. Oh, say, can you see? Oh, say, can you see? Child, she went in so hard on that song. When she went into the breakdown on that, I want what it was, fresh food, clean water, air that I don't see. I want the feeling of being safe on my streets. I want my children to be smarter than me. I want to feel free. I want to feel free for real, y'all. I'm just telling you so you know. Listen, it give me fucking chills. That song, oh my God. I don't know why I listened to that shit. That shit had me all in my feelings. I'm still trying to shake it off. Lord, because I was just able to, oh my God, that other song, we about to get into it, y'all. But there's another song that really used to do it to me back in the day. And it was when I was in high school and I was, Jesus Christ. That one was really bad during that time period because it's like right after Katrina. So it's like the emotionally abusive relationship that used to be physically abusive, but is now, long distance. And what happened in those months in between, like my senior year of high school, y'all, was like, oh my God. When I look back at those pictures at how thin I was, it was terrible. Like, it was fucking terrible. And the things that girl used to say to me that was just fuck up my entire week, fuck up my entire day. Like, everything would be fucked up depending on what was said on the phone with this girl. And like, Erykah Badu had a song. What was the song? Green Eyes. My eyes are green. Y'all remember that one? 'Cause I eat a lot of vegetables. It don't have nothing to do with your new friend. I don't care, I swear. I'm too through with you. I am. You don't mean nothing to me. So go ahead and be with your friend. And then when it transitions, I'm sorry. I love you. At first, it was cool. You told me you loved me too. Man, then you lost your love. Bro, the horns on that shit. Oh, then you lost your love. Oh, then you lost your love. You wanted me to go away, but I can't. No. See, I can't leave. It's too late. Yo, that bitch said, don't you wanna be strong with me? You told me we had a family. Na-na-na-na-na-na. Wanna run to mama when you're down and low. But times get tough and there you go. Ooh, out the door you wanna run again. I open my arms and you come back again. Wanna run 'cause you say that you were afraid. Child, whenever I see her sing that shit live and she has to back all the way up from the mic. When you're afraid of. Like, what you afraid of? You never knew what a friendship was. What? Never knew how to really love. You can't be what I need you to. And I don't know why I fuck with you. Listen. Girl, no. Woo. Took my little uni freshman hoe, threw it sliding down the wall over a Listen. Oh, yeah. Your booty might be bigger, but I still can't pull your nigga, but I don't want him. You can do a 9 to 5 and a 6 to 10, but your nigga told me not to work again. I don't want it. Y'all don't keep me going. Y'all know y'all. See, people be like, Bonnie, why you keep singing? Because niggas be in the comments hyping me, okay? That's why. Niggas come here for a show. They come here for a show, bitch. Okay? And sometimes you just gonna have to sit through me singing or catch the playback. Fast forward through me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't get this in the clips. Live shit only. Okay. So I want to talk about Keke Palmer first. Because y'all was in my fucking comments writing paragraphs about how I don't think she said that. I don't think that's what she was saying. Yeah, because y'all take everything so fucking literal that you literally don't listen and you don't read in between the lines. I said that Keke sound like Jay-Z. Y'all remember what Jay-Z said, right? We were all here. Jay-Z was like, hey, I don't respect Twitter activists. You're still on metadata, bitch. Okay? You're still shopping at the Wally World. You're still down to the Target. We've already had the conversation about how disingenuous that is coming from a person that's a billionaire and has so many options. And not only that, has the money to create better options for his community, but instead does not and actively lobbies against anytime we decide to protest. When I tell you the smart niggas online have been laughing about how Jay-Z can't stand to see a protest coming, which is in exact opposition to the 444 album, nigga. It is in exact opposition to the 444 album, which is really what pulled a lot of us slightly woke niggas. You know what I'm saying? We was like, oh, we still fucking with son. I remember like that being one of the biggest pulls about Jay-Z is the fact that Jay-Z was able to elevate the song content as he got older. There are too many rappers that are 50, 60, and they cannot graduate their artistry where they should be mentally, and that's because a lot of them are not evolving. Memphis Bleak, we'll get to you, you big head ass nigga. But first, I want to start with your girl, Keke, because this bothered me. And then what also bothers me is how if the right person says the wrong shit with the correct, nice tone, so many of y'all that I love and respect will be in the comments. Yes, girl. Amen.
You know something I've been thinking about? You remember when your mama used to say, like, don't point no fingers at nobody because you got a few pointing back at you? I've been thinking we need to get back to really ruminating on that statement because there is so much morally ethical bullying going on. You know what I'm saying? People come on your page, they mad, about corporations, but still want their next day delivery on time. You get what I mean? You mad at somebody because of fast fashion, but Shein is all they can afford. That's all they can afford. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are on all of a different side of the same contradiction. You think you're doing something. You got a Tesla. You know what I'm saying? You care about the earth. You're trying to do good for the environment. But you're the reason Elon was able to buy Twitter. Things ain't been the same. It's a good car, though. It's like one thing is after the next. You think you caring about the cows, so you eating fish. You eat so much dead fish, they farming salmon. So everybody just... The next time you see or think about commenting on someone's page about how much more ethical they could be living, remember you're doing it all on Mark Zuckerberg's internet. So before we start talking about everybody else, we got to get our backyards in order. And I say all this to say that if you're tired of the more ethical bullying and you just want to go somewhere where doing your best is enough, come on to Palm City. Practice by Palm. We got your back. Hey.
Right? Okay, so we heard that. We heard what was said. Is anybody, like I'm sure there's some people in the comments lost, but let's go to my post so we can read some of y'all comments about what y'all had said. I don't think she said shut up. She said don't judge others because we all feeding the capitalists in one way or another. So unless you aren't giving money to any of the capitalist corporations, don't judge others. Yeah, that's what Jay-Z was saying. That's the same thing Jay-Z was saying. Is that not clear? And we know that this is probably because people were commenting on, how she's always interviewing somebody problematic. I think she just interviewed Oprah. Hey, y'all, I don't knock the hustle. And I really genuinely, when it boils down to it, I only really care about certain things. Okay. And that's, how y'all be fucking over people. I don't like injustices and shit. It really annoys me, the imbalance of power and how people are really fighting for their own terrible ass lives. Like y'all don't have imagination that this shit could be better. So everybody's resigned to just let it be fucked up. And when people want to try to make it better in the ways that they can try to make it better, we have the people who have the loudest voices telling us that we're fucking tripping. Right? Because the assumption is everybody that's saying something about what you're using your large platform to do is doing the same shit. And that's not necessarily true, y'all. I haven't shopped at Shein in a minute. I'm trying to be ethical, okay? But at the same time, it negates what the conversation is actually about and the nuance of the conversation, right? She tried to make it cute and funny for y'all. She said it in a way that wasn't in the same like authoritative manner. But in general, she told y'all before y'all think to comment, y'all should look at y'all selves before y'all tell a person with a larger platform to have some accountability. Yeah, that's what she said. And that ignores the actual access and power that celebrities tend to have because their voices are projected. Their messaging is projected. And the people who are in charge of the media, they're in control of the message. Social media gives regular people a place to say what they feel about whatever. And I do understand that for content creators and celebrities, it is a very hard space to be in. Trust me. People often are coming up to me asking me, how do I deal with it? Girl, it's my fucking life. And when I say it's my life, the feeling that I feel looking at my phone sometimes with just strong perplex, like what the fuck is going on? Girl, that's a feeling I've been having my whole life. That's a feeling I've been having since my mind woke up in my little bitty body as a child. I have always felt like, why are people making shit more difficult than it gotta be? Why are people always doing fucked up shit? What is going on? I've always felt like that. Social media and being on social media and being a person to say the thing that sometimes y'all don't really want me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. And some people know that what I said was the fucking truth. Asking for regular people to have the same accountability as people who have millions of followers and millions of people's ears, I think is ignoring the nuance. It's ignoring the power dynamic. And I don't know why exploitive people always try to act like there's no power dynamic. There is a power dynamic at play here, Keke. You know why? Because people like you can give your opinion or speak how you feel and influence other people. And we're going to show you exactly how that happened. Somebody said, she's promoting her own platform, Palm City or Practice by Palmer, something like that. I don't think she's saying what Jay-Z said. She seems to be suggesting the opinions are like assholes and we all can hold multiple thoughts at one time. I feel like you superimposed a better thought onto what she said, but if we actually listen to what she said everybody's unethical. So don't be telling me about how to be ethical because y'all not ethical either. Which again ignores the nuance of the power dynamic in the average person not having the voice that Keke Palmer has. Power dynamic. And we got to be real. Keke's job on social media is starting to be cushioning things, sanitizing things by having interviews sometimes with people like Jennifer Lewis, and it's thoughtful and it's funny and you love it, right? Because she's great at her job. But then she'll go and interview some fucked up ass nigga who's been accused of abuse so that she can soften his image. That is dangerous. I don't care what anybody's talking about. And yes, we're all doing things all the time. But does that mean we're not supposed to acknowledge it? Does that mean we're not supposed to try to get to a better place? I'm not saying this should all be at Keke's doorstep or anything, but please don't act like your voice is not way more amplified than the people in your fucking comments. Don't do that. And I don't understand why somebody has to say the exact same words in order for y'all to hear the overall tone being the same. The overall tone is, don't be a hypocrite. That's the tone. That's what Jay-Z said, and that's what Keke just said. Don't be a hypocrite. That's why she mentioned shopping at Shein. And don't get me wrong, you know they got people on the internet that just want to be running their fucking mouth about something, don't know what's going on. But telling people that they're wrong for wanting y'all to have some morality at a time where it seems like we're about to fall off the edge of a fucking cliff into hell, or we may already be there and we just don't know. It feels harmful for people in our communities to not understand where we're coming from when they're talking to us all the time, right? Keke Palmer, like, it is always trying to get y'all to understand the other side of some shit. And people like that be working on my nerves because it's like sometimes what's right is what's right and what's wrong is what's wrong. And we can all admit that we have a part in it, but some people hold greater responsibility in this system. And for you to act like that's not the case is just really disingenuous and bullshitty as fuck. Okay? So let me show you how the misinformation that large platforms put out can be harmful. Let's go to these crazy motherfuckers who I really don't like. I really don't like to listen to them because they make my nerves bad. But apparently there's a part of the world that really needs this type of carrying on. Okay? A large part of the world that needs this type of carrying on. But basically, yeah, I'm going to just let it play. But the misinformation, right? So Jay-Z saying something about the boycott. Other celebrities saying we're all buying into the system. So we shouldn't be, having these attitudes and judging people. Fuck activism. Fuck a boycott. Remember Memphis? We're going to get to Memphis in a second. But that is what y'all are doing right now. And then this is how that translates on the internet.
Boycott is officially over.
AI Google searches aggregate data. They take a lot of news sources and then they tell you what they said.
What I'm telling you is public data and your personal information could be conflicting.
This is not personal.
Calling it your personal information. Nigga, it's not personal information. It's the truth. Do you hear what Ish just said? The Target boycott is over. That's what Ish just said. That's what this conversation of Jay-Z and all of that, like, that's what this conversation eventually turns into. And that's why we have to be acknowledging what these people are fucking doing. Are you serious? Actively working against us and then coming to us to buy tickets and albums and all of that. What are we talking about? We're wrong, though. We're wrong. We're wrong for asking y'all to act. We're wrong. We're wrong. We're wrong. Us? The people that are actually being victimized by this system the most, we're wrong. Boy, this abusive system, ain't it a motherfucker try to make you accountable and somebody doing some shit to you?
Information. I'm saying the most recent information from all the people you named, the faith leaders and the women, all say the same thing that I'm saying, which is the boycott is still going on.
No, and then it said that, yo, they may be still.
Who is they?
Bro, I don't know who wrote.
That's why you can't use it as a source.
But it's public, Mark.
It's
Yo,
all due respect, you don't
Just
know how
because
AI
it's
works.
public.
You're right, I don't.
Then don't use it as a source.
So you don't understand that social media is public. Just because something is on social media doesn't mean it's true, which means you cannot use everything that you see on Google AI as a source, because sometimes it's coming from Reddit posts that are made by regular people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Sometimes I have pulled a Reddit source here or there, but it actually had like a document attached to it, which is why I pulled it. Okay. Now, and then that also, you know, I matched that with other data I had read somewhere else. I had read it and then I went to look for the actual piece of paper and then I found it on Reddit. So it was, you know what I mean? Like I was matching sources. All right. You got to be very, I'm not, be quiet. Anyway, but now what's becoming a part of the job is recognizing the lies and the misinformation. And that's why when I come up here, I will always preface a story with telling you, I don't know if the shit is true or not. Okay. And I will give you my perspective based on what we're thinking. But I will always come up here and let y'all know when something don't feel right, or I don't know if it's true, but this is what the people are saying. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you to have in your mind that this could also not be fucking true. You see what I'm saying? But have discernment, because a lot of times people use that thought process as a way to dispel actual facts. And that's what Ish is doing. Ish is telling Mark that Mark's real information doesn't really matter as much, because as much people don't know the truth or the real information. More people know the bullshit, the lie that's been told. And so the lie is information that can be used in an argument because it's out there. Yeah, no, that's really dumb.
So what AI or whatever you Google, even if you don't know the source, that's fucking public information, because most of the public goes there for information.
No, they don't. They actually look up the news source.
That's true. Once you understand what's going on, when you Google AI source, like when I Google stuff on AI, I will actually go to see, because there's usually a little link next to it. I will go to the link to find out where that's from. And then I'll go match it up with other information. You can't just use what's being said on Google AI. You also have to see if it comes from a reputable source. A lot of the things I be, Googling tend to come from some, university of some accredited source.
No.
So you saying they get wrong information from AI?
Yes, people get wrong information.
Then why are you using it as a source if it's wrong information?
I'm not using it as a source. I said it's public information that be conflicting. You are fucking wrong if you think people don't go Google.
But that's not the argument. The argument is you shouldn't be using misinformation in an argument. It doesn't matter how many people are getting the information. What is this thing where y'all think because it's a lot of y'all doing some stupid shit, that mean it's right?
You say you know it's wrong.
But do you see how the misinformation, and even to me, I feel like Jay-Z is trying to affect the boycott. It's a pattern of behavior at this point. We talked about it. And that's not the same thing as we're all in this system. That's somebody actively working against us in this system. Those two things are not the same. Let's go to Jam Podcast, because I swear to God, I have not heard these young men have a bad take yet. And if these very intelligent young black men be saying the same shit I be saying, I'm like, we must be right. Cause we know what the fuck going on. What's wrong with it?
You know why? Because it doesn't compute in most niggas' mind having the skin of the oppressed in the bank account of the oppressor. Yeah. That doesn't make sense to niggas. He says in the clip where he's rapping, he goes, he took a check, I ain't even mad at him. But the check that come with that, you gotta sign non-disparaging. Saying that when Colin Kaepernick was going through his shit with the NFL because, they were trying to fire this nigga for doing a police brutality protest, he took the settlement, he's alleging that he took a settlement with the NFL, and in that settlement, he had to sign a non-disparaging clause, which means he couldn't say no bad shit about the NFL. Van Lathan confirms in this clip, because he was working at TMZ at the time where Rock Nation was trying to put, like, negative headlines into TMZ and other types of shit because him and Jay-Z were beefing. Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z. He confirms at the time, they're like, there was nothing that Colin Kaepernick signed as a non-disparaging agreement, and he kept calling out the NFL after.
The Kaepernick thing, I want people to know something. That is not true. There was reporting that was done by TMZ. Colin Kaepernick simply never signed anything that stopped him from disparaging the NFL. There is evidence that after Colin Kaepernick settled his employment case with the NFL, that he continued to call out the league and be critical of them. Remember, Colin Kaepernick did a television show where he compared the NFL Combine to a plantation. The chances to me are very low that he got up there and said something that he knew wasn't true about Colin Kaepernick. That's not even the point. The point is, why would you say that in the first place?
Yes, the whole non-disparaging. You want to know why? Because he's trying to make it sound like, hey, everyone's hypocritical. Y'all be on Amazon. Y'all be on Meta. Y'all trying to call me out. Y'all like Colin Kaepernick, right? Colin Kaepernick took a cut from the NFL, and he said he gonna shut up now. So who really the one being controlled? Because his entire angle of this verse is hypocrisy.
Mind you, Colin Kaepernick is paying for Nolan Wells all the time.
He's paying for private, the same shit we've been talking about, how niggas
and
is getting
it's not his
hung,
first time doing something like this.
While Pharrell was...
It's not his first time. Colin Kaepernick does shit like this all the time to help people.
Saying DEI is out the window. Let me go do an IDF fundraiser for $60 million and sing happy to these niggas. In the same way that's happening, Colin Kaepernick decided, yo, not only am I going to risk losing my job, yeah, I'm gonna take a settlement, but you're not about to buy my loyalty to these niggas. I'm gonna still call them out because they, fired me from a job I was good at in the National Football League because black people were getting killed by the cops, and I kneeled silently. Yep. And Jay-Z, after going away for years, comes back and says, yeah, I'm gonna diss that nigga because y'all calling me out and y'all didn't call him out because you know he really the one not.
You niggas have
Are you fucking a victim? Why are you a perpetual victim regardless of anything? You know why? Because it doesn't compute in most niggas' mind having the skin of the oppressed.
So these niggas is hitting, okay? Shout out to them because they perfectly get it. And then it's the anger that they have. You know why? I totally identify with the anger because you could see it. It's very clear. And then people will still be arguing. And it's, but another thing, y'all, I want y'all to pay attention to is that a part of this is, okay, I see some of the things people saying in the comments, right? Like, we don't have to buy it. We don't have to listen to him. Yeah, this is true. This is true. But niggas do though. And that's the point. The point is that just because we don't have to do it doesn't mean it isn't still happening and causing an issue. Okay? We know this, right? Like us over here, we know I ain't buy that shit. And the funny part about it is if it was somewhere else, I might have bought it. Because I like his music. Still to this day. To this day. I know will still be one of my favorite songs ever in fucking life. It will forever be one of my favorite songs of all time because it was just mastery. It was just literal like storytelling mastery. But the fact that it's such a good song is predicated on the fact that it's about drugs. And I think the nuance of that, okay? She wants that old thing back. She want those heroin tracks. She likes me. She fiends for me lightly. She leans for me. Listen, it doesn't, like people seem to feel like if you are, in some ways being hypocritical, then you can't speak out. And I'm like, no, that's not true, nigga. That's not true. That's not true. It's really, really not, especially when you think about the power dynamics. But wrong is wrong. And what's going on right now and how things are moving, the way the world is going, it's not right. It's not right. And us down here, are the ones that are being harmed the most. And y'all are like, you don't have a right to scream. You're down there broke, being harmed by this shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? So first, Memphis Bleak told us he didn't give a fuck. Remember, we played the clip. He don't care about activism. Ignorant shit, right? Now he's doing even more, right? Even more of that shit by bringing somebody to the front who was a part of Colin Kaepernick's team when he first started, doing the kneeling and all of that during the NFL, right? Brings this guy up so that this guy can make Colin Kaepernick seem like somebody that skated on his real ones when Jay-Z came into the picture. As if that's going to change the fact that Jay-Z is still up there on stage lying about the paperwork that Colin Kaepernick signed because he doesn't like the fact that there's somebody out there that embodies something that he can't embody. Colin Kaepernick actually uses his money to help people all the time, y'all. And I've noticed that about him. And he don't be coming out really talking to us and all of that shit. He just be doing this shit behind the scenes. And he helps people. And I feel like, you know, again, nobody's perfect, but somebody actually using their money and their access to help some of these situations versus lobbying against it and then telling everybody to stop being fucking hypocrites. Nigga, shut the fuck up. But let's listen to this nigga that's always got on a hat that's too tight for his fucking head, which shows the blood is not fully going to the top.
How you feel about the Kaepernick slander that they give Jay with dealing with the NFL?
Let me give you my perspective from the inside. When the whole Kaepernick thing first started, my organization was one of the first organizations to protest with Kaepernick. We went to the NFL, had a big protest outside the NFL downtown.
The headquarters.
We was at the headquarters, like we speared.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a difference between somebody selling something and it ends up in all major retailers because that's a deal you would have with a publishing company. A publishing company would have the connections to all of the various places that your book would be sold in, right? So that would come with the publishing company that you're signed with when you write and publish your book, okay? So it's going to end up Target, Walmart, all of these places, you know, all of the bookstores and then all of the places where books are sold. It doesn't mean that you're doing an exclusive deal with somebody that the Black community is specifically putting some pressure on in this moment. Like, again, the nuances of these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, the nuances of these things matter. All right. I know everybody wants to just always be able to pull out the one thing like it's fucking Jenga or something. You want to just pull out this one part and be like, see? And it's like, well, let's put that back in there and look at it as a whole. Okay? Everybody just calm down.
Spearheaded all of that. We was on emails with Kaepernick. Like, I was frontline. I'm with Cap t-shirts. We trying to boycott this and that. I see Jay come in. He got the Kaepernick jersey. He front and center with it. One day, Kaepernick stopped answering niggas' phone calls. We planned the next action.
And you know that's one thing you can't do with your homeboys is stop answering them niggas' phone calls. You go ghost on your homeboys.
We on the email. They like, yo, Kaepernick is not answering nobody's emails. He done left the group chats.
Damn.
I'm telling you this for a fact. So I'm like, what you mean he left it? Like, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened for weeks. So I'm like, what you mean he left the group chat? He's like, nah, they like, he just went silent on us. And then next thing you know, we seen Kaepernick has a settlement. He got a settlement. They say he signed the NDA. And I'm like, he didn't tell us. He didn't. So you saying that we did all of this shit? That niggas sacrificed and beefing with other niggas and we doing all this shit. And a nigga we sacrificed for just disappeared from the movement and didn't even notify us to say, yo, look. And he should have took a settlement because they owed him his money.
That's right.
But he owed us, the people that sacrificed with him, the right and just the heads up to say, this is what we doing. I dare nigga to tell me I'm lying. And that shit hurt me because I'm a cat and I still love what he does to this day, bro. He got the I know your rights. And I'm not saying anything against what he sacrificed. Even he just paid for the young boys autopsy, all these things. I love what he does, but I just don't like this narrative that niggas did dirty by him when he literally left. And if that's what you wanted to do, I'm just saying I would have never did that.
That's right. How you feel about the...
Okay. So, this is very interesting to me because at the end of the day, I don't know why we're arguing about the type of person that Kaepernick is because what the fuck difference does it matter at this point? Why is that even being brought up? Because Jay-Z doesn't like that he's being called out. So he's saying, hey, look over there. Look at that guy. He did it too. That's what he's doing. That's really immature as fuck. That's immature as fuck. He's deflecting with this whole Kaepernick situation. And now Memphis is making the conversation even more so about Kaepernick and his integrity in the situation. And regardless, the nigga would still have more integrity than Jay-Z as far as I'm concerned, based on the way that Jay-Z has been moving this entire time that we've known this nigga. Okay? And Memphis is just doing way too much, like this is too much to me. Like you going through a lot to tell us you don't give a fuck about some activism shit to go sit and talk to and interview and care about the feelings of a fucking what? Activist. That man is basically telling you he was an activist. And you just told us you didn't give a fuck. But you're going to go get an activist so you can frame Kaepernick as, less integral than Jay-Z or just as, lacking in integrity as Jay-Z. And why the fuck are we talking about that? Why the fuck are we talking about that? Because Jay-Z wants to deflect from the accountability that people are asking him to have as a billionaire. As a billionaire. You don't get to put a B on that shit and then come and use the black community for leverage and think we don't have a right to critique you using us and then actively working against us. You're active. It'd be different if he wasn't actively working against us, but this is a pattern of behavior at this point. And I also feel like it shows like that, to me, him even coming out to respond to this shit shows the sensitivity in asking for him to be accountable. And it just reminds me, I'm telling y'all, every time we talk about these instances of him coming out and showing us how bothered he is that people are upset or feeling a way about him or feeling that there's a disconnect in the messaging versus what you're actually doing and how you're moving, right? And then you come on stage and bitch out regular people with a B on your shit. Like you come in talking about hypocrisy with the people who you stood on in order to get where you are. And there's nothing that you've actually done to lift those people up that you stood on in order to get where you were going. Whether it was from selling dope to the fucking neighborhood, right? You was able to get money off the drugs you sold in the black community, right? So you stood on them people's shoulders to get your money and shit, right? Cool. Then you do the same thing with your artists in the music industry and with the fans. And now you leverage, y'all, that's the thing I don't understand that y'all don't get about Jay-Z. Jay-Z is leveraging the power he has, the voice he has, the music that he has in the black community that affects our buying power. He is leveraging that in these deals with these people that ultimately makes our circumstances worse. I don't know. But you know what? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like this is an opinion thing. I think this is just what it is, right? Like, and people can feel however they want to feel about it. But it is what it is. And people could be better. And I also don't like this conversation that y'all always want to have about entertainers not being, entertainers have always been a part of the civil rights movement. I have to remind people of this all the time when y'all get down here talking about, y'all what the celebrities, y'all need to stop. Listen, as long as we've been black, the celebrities are the ones that have helped make some of these strides. Y'all don't remember that a lot of black artists refuse to perform in the South because of segregation and segregated audiences and shit like that? Like they were in themselves protesting these things. Aretha Franklin used to be showing up wherever Martin Luther King was in the South and paying for his lodging and meals and making sure that the activists had the money that they needed to keep doing what they was doing. A lot of black entertainers helped the movement happen in the first fucking place. They threw the events, they paid for shit, they brought the crowds and performed their songs and shit like that. A lot of y'all do not know what y'all are talking about. The entertainers have always been used in one way or another. Black people are the ones that decided our entertainers are gonna help us because that's what they decided to do. Excuse the fuck out of us for thinking that once you come talking to us like he did on 444, that's the place that you were in. Beyonce just came out with the Blackest King and all of that shit. They just pulled us in with this black pride shit a second ago. How dare y'all get mad at us for drawing the conclusions and acknowledging the inconsistencies, especially at such a dire time. Like, a part of the movement, but they weren't the full movement. We need to do our own work and stop looking to them. We are doing our own work. That's what the Target boycott was. That was the people doing their own work. And do you know what one of the celebrities that we've projected out into the world decided to do? Work actively against said boycott. I think we can ask for accountability. I think we can acknowledge these things. We can say them out loud. That's what we should be doing, because our voices a lot of the times are all we have, and we don't realize how strong our voices are. You don't realize that it is important to have pushback in moments like this. It's important to have the counter conversation to what the people who have the most influence are saying. To act as if we as the public can just ignore these people's voices is kind of, I feel like, ridiculous, because it's not realistic. You can't act from a place of thinking that everybody is going to ignore celebrities who have garnered their admiration and loyalty. Like, oh, y'all, look, you're constantly smoking on your live. Why do y'all get so bothered by this? You know you can just stop watching me, right? But you want to bring up Jay-Z's past. That's a hypocrite. Sweetheart, I'm not bringing up Jay-Z's past about selling drugs as a negative here. I'm doing it to make a point, to acknowledge his contribution to actively harming a community that he uses for his benefit. I have a prescription. And I feel like going to the, going to the drive-thru to pick up my prescription, it's not the same thing as what Jay-Z was doing in the 90s. That's wild. That's wild. Whoa. Oh, girl. I don't know why y'all come here. And then you beloved me? Girl. Goodbye, beloved. Not you using like the shaming of utilizing medicinals against a black person. Girl, that's racism. Girl. That's racism. Y'all do know that that's like a trope, right? That's a trope. And again, I have a prescription. So if what I do up here bothers you, go find somebody else to watch. But whenever y'all disagree with me, y'all decide to jump in with this judgment of me as if I give a fuck. Girl, we're not going to do that here. Who are you talking to? Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. I promise you I wasn't smoking it back then when he was selling it. The fuck? Because I was a child. The fuck is going on in the world? These hoes is tripping. Le Monique, hey girl, thank you for the super chat. I don't care. I be smoking with you sometimes. Me and my little raw cones. Listen. The hell? Prescription my foot binder. You is What you mean? What does that mean? Do you want to get like what? What's happening? Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. It is a prescription. I don't know what you mean. Like I really don't know what you mean. But I feel like people should get the fuck out of my life if they don't like what I got going on. And if they're gonna act like me and Jay-Z are the same type of people. I think that's wild. Again, comparing me, who was a child when he was doing that, comparing me, a regular person, to a billionaire. Comparing me, a 38-year-old woman who has never harmed anybody. For real, for real. Like, that's wild. Girl, how you gonna compare me to somebody that did all the shit that he did? What? Child, I ain't never tried to get with no damn child. I ain't never tried to get with no child when I was in my motherfucking late 20s, bitch. You crazy. There's a lot of shit that he did that I have never done. How dare you? How dare you, bitch? That's wild. Hoes be hating my ass. That's crazy. That bitch really came for me, okay? Like, what is going on? It was that or Lexapro. My nigga, give me a break. Whoa. My nigga, it was that or Lexapro. But this is what happens. They be talking to me like this shit legal where I'm from. I don't know where you are, honey. The fuck? No, it is an insult to be compared to him in that manner. I really don't like when people do that. I don't like that in general because people do that a lot. People be like, y'all act like we all don't make mistakes. Bitch, we are not making the same mistakes. We are not making the same mistakes, bitch. Everybody is not doing the same shit. Everybody is not doing the same shit. And you're right, bitch. I would rather get my little medical marijuana card. I would rather smoke my little leaf, my little plant, my little lavender and all of that every now and again. I would rather do that than to be on medication, okay, that makes me, the part of my brain that's connected to my clitoris be deadened or something like that. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. This is wild comparing me to him. Bonnie, Jay-Z was moving bricks up and down I know. This I know. He used to spend time in Harlem and on the Ave. That was when he was touchable. Now he's MAGA. Damn. My Alzheimer's have changed, but not really. Because green is the God. Green is the God. Power is the God. Not to mention there are no righteous and ethical billionaires, which I always say. Like, girl, I work out. I pay my bills. I don't know why y'all coming up here talking about, bitch, what? Listen. Yeah, no, I saw. That's why I ain't say nothing. I saw you was joking. Y'all know y'all gotta put something in there because you know we be reading comments and then they start to, oh bitch, is there another person in this motherfucker talking to me crazy? Okay, you on go. You be on go. Listen. Fix me that and Lexapro. Okay, listen. This is why I'm a niche crowd. Cause you gotta be able to chill the fuck out around me. Okay? Like I'm not in the room with you, bitch. You gotta be able to chill the fuck out. Okay? If you can't chill, do you know how much people didn't even know? Okay? Leave me alone. Let's get into this nigga. This another one of them niggas y'all always defending, trying to act like we all be doing the same shit. Do we? Do we? I don't know. It don't feel that way to me. I don't think I've ever football kicked a bitch in the back of the head. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't know. I don't think I've ever forced somebody to have a whole bunch of sex they did not want to have. Yeah, no, that's not a turn on for me. We can't be the same person. We can't be the same person. Shit. Ooh, baby, I think I love you from head to toe. Y'all was watching that fucking Family Feud show and Lisa was on there. Okay, shout out to my people. You heard me? Okay, so Diddy is asking a federal judge. Let me try that again. I forget I'm gonna have to edit this later. Diddy is asking a federal judge to order a woman who accused him of SA to cover his legal expenses after her lawsuit was dismissed. According to TMZ, the music mogul is seeking sanctions against Grace O. Marquez and her attorneys, arguing they continued pursuing claims that had no legal basis. Diddy's legal team contends Omar K refiled her lawsuit even after a judge had already determined her allegations did not meet the legal standard required to move forward. Omar K previously accused Diddy of SAing her abroad a chartered yacht during a 2022 trip in the U.S. Virgin Islands. She filed suit under federal sex trafficking laws, but earlier this month, a judge dismissed the case, ruling the allegations did not support claims under those statutes. The dismissal was issued without prejudice, meaning Omar K has the option to pursue some of her claims through a different legal avenue. Now Diddy is asking the court to require Omar K and her legal team to reimburse him for the attorney's fees and costs he incurred defending the lawsuit. His attorneys argue the case should have never been refiled and described the litigation as frivolous. Omar K's attorney, however, told TMZ they intend to oppose the request, maintaining that their claims were filed in good faith. The matter remains ongoing. First comment, why not? If they want to sue, okay, but then you lose, right? Refile and lose again. Yep, that's going to hurt their pockets, not mine, and they should have to pay out. Right? Because this isn't like somebody that probably absolutely did this and is getting off on, semantics and, legalities. Like red tape, like he's getting away with some shit because it happened, and he probably does a lot of shit to make sure that there's no evidence of anything that's happened. It's very hard to prove these types of things in the first place. It does not make it frivolous. I honestly feel like there are some frivolous lawsuits against him, but I honestly feel like most of the stuff that people have said about him and their, interactions with him where he has forced sex on them. Yeah, I believe them. I'm so sorry, everybody. I believe people when they say stuff about this man because this man doesn't seem to have any real self-control. And if y'all, Diddy was high all the time on them lives. I don't know if y'all remember that. But people who move like that, they usually do take what they want in the most sporadic, ridiculous ways. And because they are who they are, people are doing shit to sanitize and make sure that they get away with the things that they do to the point that they do them like all the time. Because somebody's always going to be there to come and clean it up. That's just, how my mind works when it comes to people like Diddy. So it is way more feasible for me to believe a man that's been able to get away with this type of shit for like 40 years would very much have a whole bunch of miscellaneous people that he's done shit to over the years that might want to say, hey, you did this to me too, right? But everybody always wants to live in the legal realm, right? A lot of people like to use like legal logic as a way of dealing with like real world issues that I find kind of deplorable and lacking in morality and empathy. But that's just my opinion. That's just me, girl. Okay. Just somebody that smokes. They did a study on marijuana and said that one of the reasons why the government was really against it and the reason why the government decided to make it illegal back when they did is because it made people more empathetic and it made them actually really think about things in a way that they were not. Sometimes people think you haven't done your research or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, girl, we'll see what happens with that. I don't think that anybody should have to pay him anything. Girl, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't think anybody should have to pay that nigga any fucking thing. I really don't. I forgot to mention this when we were talking about Jay-Z and all of that and Colin Kaepernick. But Terrell Owens, another person that adds $25K to six-figure reward in Nolan Wells' case, Mississippi teen who mysteriously died during 4th of July boating trip with friends. You know, the people, you know, and all his independent autopsy was paid for, you know, like we said, by Colin Kaepernick. So there are people that are, you know, using their money for good things. And, you know, the people in the comments are happy about this. As they should be. But it's just, you know, it's interesting when you want people to be, you know, better and people aren't doing the good thing. You don't want us to say anything. But when people are doing the good thing, everybody can say something. But when they doing the bad thing, don't say anything. Shut the fuck up. Okay? We gonna say something around all this shit. Y'all saw Ryan Clark got fired? I like him sometimes. Sometimes. I don't like that podcast, but I do feel like he tends to have sense more than most. I like that about him. Okay? Ryan Clark is setting the record straight after TMZ Sports reported he wasn't forced off NFL Live following his ESPN layoff. Clark was informed he'd been let go during a commercial break Monday after a report on his departure threatened to leak before the network could tell him directly. TMZ claimed Clark and ESPN Mutual agreed he wouldn't return to finish the show. But Clark says that's not the full story. Quoting the report on X, he wrote that he asked producers directly if he should be done for the day, and the answer was yes. I wasn't forced. I asked, should I be done now? The answer was yes. Okay. So he wasn't forced off air, technically. But when he asked, they told him, yeah, that's basically saying, yeah, you should go ahead and go. We could send you your luggage. It would be best if you just left, and then we could send you your luggage later. Okay? That's because you're going home. You got stuff at home. Like, you don't need your luggage. Yo, that's fucked up. That's how they do you, though. But that's good because he got his own podcast. These men know that how these, you know, motherfuckers gonna treat them. They know that. They know they can only milk that shit for the time they can milk that shit. The smart ones like him, they get their own shit popping off of that. You know what I mean? They make their own money on, you know, in their own way so that when these things happen, they can go. But you get what you can get from them people and then you skedaddle. That's usually how the cookie crumbles, bitch. That's how the cookie crumbles. That's how the cookie crumbles. Okay, let's move on from there. Well, first of all, before we move on, I do want to remind everybody that we are going to Mauritius. Okay, it is getting closer and closer to the date. September 8th through the 17th, a all-black women's retreat is headed to Mauritius, East Africa. Okay, it is going to be a great time. 5-star accommodations. This trip includes airport transfers, private and shared suites, meticulously prepared meals, a 90-minute massage, a singing bowl meditation, 5-star accommodations, Creole cooking class, curated island tours. Oh, I'm so excited about it. I'm going to take that Creole cooking class. Just because I want to see what they going to say. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't already know how to. Girl, I want to see. Are you going to pull out the Trinity? Let's see. Okay, you going to pull out this garlic, onion, bell pepper? It's other shit in there, but that's just what they call it. Anyway, but we going on private yacht tours, girl. It's going to be a good time. If y'all want to come, okay, if y'all need a break from all of this, girl, all of this, yes, all of this. If you need a break from all of this, then come on down, all right? Come on down with us, all right? Reset by Design Wellness always puts on a great trip, okay? If y'all are new here, I have, we've been doing trips for years now. So we've been to Ghana, Thailand, Bali, and yeah, it's just always an amazing experience. Okay, so like, I'm not gonna lie, even though our first trip to Thailand, I love that one like so much. Because we stayed at one really nice villa for all of us. Like, it was really, really nice. Oh, this one was it. Right here, girl. This one. This is when we were in Thailand the first time. Girl, when I tell y'all, we had such a good time on this trip. We had such a good time on this trip. Okay. That was my birthday. It was like right after my birthday. It was the beginning of June that year. This is when we did the Yona Beach Club, which was also really amazing. We did that the second time too. We always have such a good time. I gotta get my outfits together for this trip. And I'ma try real hard not to go to Shein. I'ma try, y'all. I'ma try. It's so hard. Are there where are the places that we could shop and get a whole bunch of shit for like $500? That's not Shein. Put in the comments. But yeah, y'all should get into it. When we went to, this is my last thing, and then we're gonna get back into the show. But when we went to Bali, y'all, we went to this spa. When I tell y'all, this spa experience was one of the best spa experiences I ever had in my life. Okay. You get a yoni steam, a body scrub, a massage, a bath like this with the roses and all of that in it. Then they give you these little pieces of mango with lime juice on it. Blew my fucking mind. After you get out the tub, you shower off. You go into the salon. They give you a deep conditioner. They wash your hair. They feed you again. You go and do a face mask. Like it was, and then it was not even that expensive because in Bali shit is not that expensive. Okay. But when I tell y'all, I'm trying to get back to Bali just so I can go back to that spa. Such a good time. All right, y'all. Now that I'm done doing my ad and telling y'all how much I can't wait to get the fuck out of here again and see what Ty has gotten for us. Okay, see what Ty done put together for us. So if y'all want to sign up to come along with us for this trip, the link is down below in the description box, and you can pay as you go. I don't need nobody explaining no shit to me. Why people always think I need somebody to explain something to me because I am pointing out how dumb somebody sounds. The fuck? I don't give a fuck about what Memphis Bleak said at the beginning of his podcast. All I know is you was ignorant and loud, and then you decided to have a conversation just so you could make another nigga look bad, not so you could actually talk about the activism. Give me a motherfucking break. I'm smarter than most of you niggas. I don't need y'all explaining nothing to me. Ooh, I get so tired of men thinking that they smarter than everybody. You is not smarter than me, girl. Stop talking to me. I know what the fuck this nigga doing. Anyway, let's move on because people upset me. And I'm going to be upset. I'm a fucking person. Know what's going on with everybody. Oh, girl, let's go. So let's see this right quick before we get into some other shit. Okay? Reality star Tokyo Vanity says apartment employee painted her as the mad black woman for speaking up during heated conversation. Let's hear what happened.
Whether you could tell, and I don't even know what that means.
That just means that.
I don't even know what that means.
I'll tell you what it means. What it means is we're gonna speak respectfully.
I am speaking respectfully. I don't need you to come police me. I'm
gonna tell you how this is gonna go because if it doesn't go the way.
Tell me how what's gonna go.
We're gonna speak respectfully.
I am.
Okay, so then we're not. We're
coming at a time. This is how I talk.
Okay, so
I don't need you to tone police me.
No, I'm not. It's not tone police.
Okay, it is. I'm respecting you. We're at the same level.
All right, so then let's start over.
Stop playing with me. Listen, we're at the same level here. Like I'm not here to do this with you. That's not what I'm here to do. You just getting here. You're just getting here. You're just getting here. I've been here 7 years. I understand that you've been at Great Star. But me being a tenant here exceeds you working here. And me and you, we keep having this back and forth. It is, because we're emailing back and forth, sir.
It is a back and forth, and she's a tenant, and you work in the building that she pays rent to. Who the fuck are you talking to? To me, it sounds like you see a tall, full-size black woman and think you could talk to her any old kind of fucking way.
It is. We're having a email Discord back and forth. Whether you could tell, and I don't even know what that means. Anyway.
Okay. Like, I can take constructive criticism. What could I have done better? I'm so tired of people always tone policing me and making me out to be a mad black woman as soon as I address anything. Girl, when I tell you they do this all the time, They do this all the time. And it really comes from a place of who they feel like they can play with. That's really a lot of times they are being prejudiced against you when shit like this happens because they feel like who you are means they don't have to respect you. Who you are means I don't have to respect you. If you were a white tenant, I bet you he would have been speaking to you differently. If you was a white male tenant, he definitely wouldn't have been trying to tell you how y'all was going to talk to each other and all of that shit. I tried the whole email thing. This has been me handling in non-accountable and defending things that were long before his employment. I'm confused. Instead of simply saying my bad, that was bad my time, that was before my time. Instead, he wants to keep arguing via email when I'm trying to get to a solution. Sometimes as a black woman, I feel hopeless. Beside, I'm always the aggressor, no matter how someone handles me first. Yeah, you have to start not giving a fuck. You have to start not giving a fuck about that. You have to learn how to control yourself, but you have to also start not caring about that because that is what people are doing to you as a black woman. It doesn't matter sometimes how you say it or what you say. They don't want to hear it from you. They're absolutely gaslighting you, talking about we need to start over and all of that type of shit. Like, and honestly, I feel like if I was being treated like this, I would be complaining to the owners of the building or whoever his manager is. And if I'm still having to deal with a person that's talking to me like this, then I'm guessing I would be moving the fuck out. Because who are you talking to like this? No. I think a lot of times people don't, because we're so used to having to ignore people being disrespectful to us. And that comes from your family all the way up to, people in your grown adult life. People feel like they can be disrespectful to you. And then you're the problem when you say something about it because everybody just wants you to be quiet and not cause an issue. So they just want you to put up with it and take it. I say fuck them. That's what I say. Okay, let's move on from there. I want to talk about the Celeste Rivas case because some things have taken place. All right. Let me put something up. Oh, girl, it's cold. Why is it always so cold? Let me turn my AC up. Did y'all like my video? Did y'all like the video? Let me know. Because that would be cool, if y'all would like my video or whatever. If y'all would share me, that would be dope. Those of y'all that are always showing me love, I be seeing y'all. Thank y'all. Especially the ones that be like, oh, Bondy's my favorite on Threads. I be helping y'all through y'all work day. I be seeing y'all comments. So thank y'all. I appreciate that y'all fuck with me like that. I really, really do. All right. So this is, for lack of a better picture, I'm just going to put this up. Okay? Because that was the one that I saved. But I really wanted to come and read this Newsweek article to you guys, okay? Disturbing. Okay, hold up. Let's cite our sources. This is Holly Silverman from Newsweek. She said, disturbing evidence, including graphic images, was presented to a Los Angeles judge during a preliminary hearing in the closely watched murder case against singer David, as prosecutors seek to convince the court to proceed to trial. The artist, whose legal name is David Anthony Burke, has pleaded not guilty to charges including first-degree murder, sexual abuse of a child, and unlawful mutilation of human remains in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. On Tuesday, News Nation reporter Brian Anton said in a video post on X that gruesome images of the dismembered body following the removal from the trunk had been shown during the hearing. Her family is in the courtroom, so you can imagine, they've been emotionally looking at these pictures. Anton said, adding, some of these details are hard to talk about, but they talk about 2 separate arms, 2 legs, a separate kneecap, all in the front trunk of the Tesla. David's legal team has repeatedly said he is innocent, sharing a statement with TMZ in April that read, in part, let us be clear, the actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death. Sure. Authorities allege Burke and Hernandez were involved in a relationship that began when he was 18 and she was 13. Prosecutors contend that Hernandez threatened to expose the relationship, providing a motive for the alleged killing. On day 2 of the hearing centered on Burke's finances, with prosecutors arguing he had millions of dollars and a lucrative career to protect, while the defense sought to show his mother handled most of his financial affairs. After Hernandez's parents reported her missing, detectives interviewed Burke, who told investigators he had met the teen only once and did not know she was underage. According to prosecutors also alleged that after her parents confiscated her phone, Burke paid one of her classmates to provide her with another device so they can remain in contact. So I want to, it annoys me the way y'all don't seem to understand the emotional and like physical drug habit that forms when you have these imbalanced relationships with young girls and young boys. I don't know if y'all have paid attention. That's why a lot of people say y'all shouldn't allow for children to be in romantic relationships when they're very young, because they're young. Their brains aren't fully formed, but their emotions are taking control of their body as they're going into their teenage years because of the hormones, right? And they're growing. So they're becoming more aware. Things are changing. The feelings are big, y'all. The feelings are big. And I feel like a lot of times people will use the young girls begging to be in the relationship as some sign that that means it wasn't inappropriate or that the man isn't liable for being with a child. But it's like that's a part of why you don't get with children, because they will have this response. Because a lot of times what they're needing is some type of emotional comforting that they're not getting at home, and that relationship is providing that for them. So it becomes like a drug for them. They don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand the fact that the person that's older than them is a fucking creep because they're a kid. It's not until you get older that you look at people that date kids and you're like, that guy's a fucking creep. Those of us that are old enough to look at this nigga will see that something was wrong with him. I also don't believe that y'all did not know that this girl was underage. I don't believe that at all. The hearing is not being live streamed because the judge has not permitted cameras inside the courtroom. As a result, the public is learning about the proceedings through reporters and legal observers who are attending the hearing in person and relaying details from inside the courtroom. Okay? So let me see. All right, I want to go to another source. But I'm going to let this play.
This is the last voicemail that Celeste ever left David, and it is sad, it is disturbing, and it's literally a child asking a grown man for forgiveness. A grown man that should have wanted nothing to do with a relationship with a young 14-year-old girl. You could tell from this voicemail that this young girl was manipulated and that she was pleading with David to give her something, a phone call, a response. But this man took her life.
You probably don't want to talk to me right now, and I respect that, I really do, but I really need to hear your voice right now. Like, I just need to know that you're okay. I need to know that we're okay. I sound so stupid right now, but like, I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything.
Her calling herself selfish sounds like what an abusive person tells to a child when they want to make the child responsible. You make the child think that they have equal responsibility in the situation. That's a lie that he's telling her, that she's repeating back, that she's internalized because she's a child and she doesn't understand and she doesn't know any better because she's a child. And so that's why people have parents that are supposed to be paying attention to them. This is not that different than what happened with that 13-year-old who had a 20-year-old under her bed. And I've seen a lot of the conversations online, and this is a very similar situation to me, where these children are really not, I don't think they're being loved. I don't think they're being nurtured in their households. They might be being financially provided for, but I don't think they're actually being taken care of for real, because if we're being fucking real, that 13-year-old should not have been left at home alone at 1:00 in the morning. Especially if she was already letting somebody in the house. She can't be trusted. So that means you have to be on her. You have to be home. You have to be around. You have to be glued into what she has going on. You have to be paying attention to her. You have to be spending time with her. And a lot of times, y'all either don't have the time or you don't really want to do that. And so when these children end up in these relationships with older people, you want to call them fast, but really what it is that they're lonely and they're children. And somebody takes advantage of a child needing some type of emotional support that they're not getting at home. A lot of y'all don't, y'all act like y'all don't get it, but people's moms be mean. People's moms, you know what I'm saying? They have a very talk down type vibe with their daughters and shit like that. You think people feel good growing up in households with moms that are always talking to them like they stupid? Right? Like that creates a lot of resentment. That creates a hole. That creates something that child needs to try to fill, a need that they need to get met. And I think that, I notice it's a lot with Black parents specifically because I think it comes from like the slavery shit. Feeling that you can be unemotional and not emotionally supportive when it comes to dynamics between you and your children. You have taken like mindsets that were used in slavery or mindsets that were used outside of households and made that the thing. You cannot just talk to your kids any kind of way and think that that's not going to be harmful to them. And they're not going to be trying to find a way to cope with the fact that you're somebody that they're not emotionally safe with. You can have discipline and all of that and still be somebody that your child is emotionally safe with. And a lot of the times, if they feel like they can talk to you for real and they don't feel like you're going to start calling them all types of little, fast ass bitches and all of that shit, like y'all like to do them girls. If they feel like their mom is somebody they can talk to, they will talk to their mom and then talk about what they're thinking and what they're feeling. And then if their mom is not always rushing to some angry response, she'll be able to ask them why they think that way, why they feel that way. Well, you do understand this, and this, right? Explain things to them. But a lot of times y'all don't really do that with the kids. And then you just expect them to know better because you told them so. That is not a good way to raise kids. You have to be thinking about teaching them how to think. So the old adage that people used to say, do what I say, not what I do, and all that, that's stupid. And that doesn't work. That's stupid.
Just wanted to say I'm sorry.
Mind you, reports from the courtroom are saying that David is sort of sitting there looking bored in the court, not super engaged or attentive. I don't know if this is direction he received from his attorneys, but he just doesn't seem to care one bit. This is the last.
So yeah, I'm triggered. So many memories. Listen, I don't mean to trigger y'all because I know it's a hard thing for me as well. Like, and that's why I was saying about at the beginning of the live, thinking back on the relationships I was in during that time. That's all I could feel. That's all I could feel. I felt like I really needed or wanted to, like have some type of connection with somebody that didn't have me feeling lonely all the time. Because a part of, being in a household with people that are fighting and then getting back good with each other and then fighting and then getting back good with each other is you being pulled and pushed based on what's going on in that relationship. If they're good, then you're kind of having to fend for yourself. If they're not good, then you become the person that one of the parents is always, or both of the parents are always talking to, trying to get the child on their side in the argument and all of that type of shit. It's very subtle shit, but it happens. And so a lot of the times I feel like, I was hyper focused on that for a long time because when you watch your parents make their relationship the center of everything, it just makes you want to copy and paste that. Copy and paste that. Where do I find this feeling? Where do I find this connection? Because when they're in their thing, I feel like I don't really matter. So where can I find that so I'm not on the outside looking in all the time? That is what it started to feel like to me. And then this is how I get into relationships with people where even though it's girls, you know what I'm saying? Some guys, but you know, some girls, it's still this abusive, toxic dynamic to the relationship. And I know that. And I'm actually turned on by that because that is what is normal to me. That is what feels the most normal to my psyche, is to have this shit going on all the time. This up and down shit. It affects how your children relate to themselves and how they relate to the relationships they're going to have, how soon they go looking for these relationships. When your mom is wrapped up in a relationship, it teaches the children, the daughters specifically, to also find relationships to be wrapped up in. And that's not to say that my mom didn't have all of these other things about herself, but the main focus for a lot of women is their relationships. And it really does teach you at a very young age to seek out the same thing. That's another reason why I feel like y'all have to get out of making relationships like the center of everything all the fucking time. Because you then turn around and look at your kids and you're like, why y'all want to do this? And why y'all too young for all of that? It's like that nobody hears that. When you're a kid and you're growing up in a world that everything is about a fucking relationship, everything is about a romantic relationship, the shit you watch as a child is telling you to be looking for a relationship. Everything is about, and then y'all fucking fairy tales. What do you think that's about? Like, what do you think that's about? Everything is about a relationship. And then, you know, you can't even have fucking horror movies or action movies without a love interest. There's always a yearning for that that's being distributed all over the place. And then y'all expect children not to pick that up and have that same thing. Girl children specifically are going to be seeking that because no matter what you think, what is actually being felt is that my value is based on my relation to a man or a boy.
Voicemail that Celeste ever left.
So yeah, let me see if I could get some other shit about what's going on with that. But it makes me really sad. It makes me really sad because I remember what that felt like. And it was just a lot. Emotionally, it was a lot. Like, it was a lot of crying. It was always crying. To the point that, like, for me, the suicidal ideations came very early on for me. I think I might have been in middle school when I started to think about what it would be like to not be here. And throughout my life, it's been something so consistent to the fact that I've gotten to the point of, like, sometimes, you know, I've had people in my life that have, you know, committed suicide, and there's a part of me that understands. There's a part of me that deeply understands. Because to me, the way in which people choose to live their lives sometimes creates a hell that other people have to end up living in. You know what I'm saying? And that can sometimes feel like I just want to escape it. I don't, you know? Jeez Louise. Trying not to get emotional, y'all, because I'm one of them people that I can have been healed from something, but that doesn't mean that when I talk about it or when I get back in that space, it doesn't create the same feeling for me. Okay.
The most
let's see. Yeah, let's do Khadijah. I like her. She does a lot of really great work on these cases.
Disturbing thing that we saw today is how every single report talked about how David did not take his eyes off of the disturbing photograph shown of Celeste. And they have now started to release the court sketches from today's preliminary hearing, and I just want you guys to visualize how this man was looking at these horrible pictures of Celeste in the front of his Tesla. Because report after report, I keep seeing the same exact thing detailed with David. He didn't even flinch. He didn't even look away the whole entire time. He was focused on all of this. Other thing that I really want to focus in on after looking back at everything today is how you can see by the things that he'd ordered in the timeline of those, how it's almost like the thought process changed of what to possibly do with Celeste. We know prosecutors are alleging the day after they say Celeste was unalive, David ordered a shovel. That shovel was never recovered, by the way. Then after that is when we see the ordering of the chainsaws, the body bag, the pool, all of that. But now we know one of the chainsaws were never recovered, which is the blue Makita. Then mind you, months later in July, right before he goes on tour, a burn cage is ordered and a burn mat, and the burn mat is never recovered either. To me, like, just the way this is makes no sense. So chainsaw missing, got it. Okay, burn mat missing, but never used the burn cage. So was this burn mat used to maybe get rid of evidence? Is something that I am wondering. The shovel also missing. Was that used to like bury something? Because why is that missing? Because it's like everything that wasn't used is still there. Like we know the chainsaws that they're saying never had anything on them. Those were still there. Burn cage that had never been opened, that was still there. The pool is one thing I literally don't understand. So we know this was not getting rid of because they did use this pool. They were able to match those fragments that were in Celeste's leg to this pool by forensic. They were able to match it. So since the burn cage and the burn mat were ordered so late, I almost wonder if maybe there was an idea to try to burn the pool, like you didn't know how to get rid of it. Like I'm trying to understand. But to me, the way this planned out and how everything went down, it seems like there might have been idea after idea, and then none of those ideas ended up panning out. Maybe nervous, I don't know, right before tour, and then obviously there's nothing else you could do. So since there's no cameras, I thought it was important to show you guys the sketches, same way I did during the Diddy trial. And also, I want to know your thoughts about all the evidence shown today and what you guys think about it in the comments.
He did that shit. Girl, that's what I think. He did that shit. That's what I think. It's very ritualistic. It's very ritualistic.
The pool and
Child, let me see what else Khadijah's saying before I move on from here.
David's garage matched up like puzzle pieces to the blue fragments that were found on Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Today started out with some drama because the prosecutor kicked out private investigator Steve Fisher because he was a grand jury witness after winning one of those lottery tickets to get in and watch. It seems like she does not like him because she said she was sure that he was probably going to go and post about it later because that's all he does. A YouTuber was caught breaking the court's rules live streaming the hearing yesterday. And the prosecutor was also yelling at Celeste's family attorney, who has been sitting in on all of this, saying that she will take his dang badge. Then we got a criminalist on the stand after all of this drama who testified about the pool that was found in David's garage and also Celeste's clothing. She started testifying what she found on Celeste's clothes, and she said she found hair, she found fibers, she found plant fibers, and also little pieces of foam from this pool. She also testifies that she found like a foot impression from shoes inside of the pool, and she tried to dust it, but there wasn't enough there to collect anything. Testified that she observed 4 areas on this pool that were damaged by linear cuts. And there was also some irregular cuts, and she is saying some of these cuts cut all the way through the pool. She then compared the blue fragments that were found on Celeste and submitted to her by the medical examiner to the fragments of this pool, and several fragments of these blue pieces matched up perfectly to this pool like puzzle pieces. And they showed photos of this matching up to everybody in the courtroom. Now we know they have connected Celeste as being in this pool because the fragments line up perfectly to those fragments found on her. This is where she left off right before break, so I am locked in. I want to hear more about the fibers that were on Celeste's clothing, like the hair, plant fibers. Like, why is there plant fibers on her clothing? But I'll have some more for y'all soon. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
I mean, it could be as simple as him transporting her body and her falling on the ground. Or it could be what was in the trunk, right? So if there was something that had plant fibers on it all in the trunk, I don't know if y'all know how trunks just, you know, any grass or dog hair or anything in a trunk is going to stick to the fabric in the trunk. And so I feel like, you know, it could have got on her body that way. It just, you know, I guess we'll all find out. But it definitely felt like, yeah, nigga, you did that shit. I mean, we know you, we all feel like you did that shit from the very beginning because this has all been just very, very sick.
David had a whole bunch of air fresheners, like a lot of air fresheners, in his Tesla when Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found. Now we have been hearing from a criminalist on the stand who is testifying about viewing David's car after Celeste was already removed from it. She testified about before opening the actual front of the Tesla that she noticed that the car was covered in dust, which is consistent with how it was found when it was towed. And the reason there could be dust on it is because they are alleging that David's Tesla was parked for the last time on July 29th, right before he would go on tour, and you have to remember it wasn't towed until September. She also testified about the horrible smell that she smelled of decay when she opened the front of the Tesla and all of the insects in the Tesla. She testified that there were a lot of air fresheners in the car, some in the trunk, but a lot of them were in the center console of this Tesla. One of these air fresheners said, "Love is in the air." Also found a bottle of hand sanitizer in the Tesla also. What's really crazy to me about this Tesla is the fact that they obviously didn't keep it, and it went to impound for months. And right before David's Tesla went to go up for auction, it was actually transferred out of his name and somebody picked it up. We just found out yesterday, allegedly the one that was doing the transferring was David's mom. Also heard from police about the Caltrans worker finding Celeste's passport ID in Santa Barbara County. It was actually found pretty close to the road, and it appears like somebody could have just tried to throw it out a window.
Y'all remember the last season of Reasonable Doubt? That's what this reminds me of in some capacity. Of like these famous young black boys whose moms run their careers and literally will do anything to like make sure that the career isn't ruined because the mom has put so much into it and she's like obsessed with her son or some shit. But that's this low key with this. I told y'all I felt like his parents were like informed and involved, because how the fuck is he hanging around this young ass girl and y'all don't know about it? Y'all knew about it, right? And I think his mom might be like the dad might be a lawyer, something like that. It's some situation like that where I feel like they very much probably helped him get out of this situation, and I'm grossed out by it.
Maybe
to the point that I feel like I even wonder if his siblings fuck with him like that. Because I remember a sibling coming out saying something, and I'm like, in a household where David is the child that becomes a star, it is very liable. Well, I'm sorry, not liable. Probable. It's very probable that he was allowed to be abusive to the siblings, and a lot of it being like excused, or a lot of bad behavior kind of being sanitized and cleaned over for David all throughout growing up, while the other kids had to bear the brunt of that. That's what this could feel like to me. Because that's how that would form, right? The kid, you know what I mean? Like,
get rid of it. Officer went on to testify that he's not sure if Celeste's passport ID card washed down from rain to where it was located, or if somebody left it there. But I'm going to be so honest, why would her freaking passport ID randomly be in Santa Barbara County on the side of the road where they're alleging David went to? And we know this is important because prosecutors are alleging
it's given he had it and threw it so that it wouldn't be, with him.
That David went to Santa Barbara County 3 different times. And he testified that they never tested Celeste's passport ID card for fingerprints. They did say that police did look around the area to see if they could find any more evidence, but unfortunately they found nothing else. I will say, after looking into this when I heard about this months ago, Santa Barbara County's terrain is pretty wild. They are on lunch break right now, so I'll have more details for you soon. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. David had a whole bunch of air fresheners.
Yeah, sounds like y'all were trying to, dispose of that body, or like, yeah. I almost feel like he must have called his mom and was like, Mom, Mom, the fuck.
All right, it's day 2 of David's preliminary hearing, and we are already learning about a security guard that had been living with David, and this is the first time we are hearing about this man. His testimony continued from David's financial manager that we heard yesterday, and he was testifying that David had this live-in security guard that lived with him for 6 months, which is pretty crazy because the PI, Steve Fisher, has always referenced...
he was homeschooled. Yeah, you got to be like a very specific type of kid or parent. No, you have to be very specific type of parents in order for me to think you homeschooling your children is a good decision. Otherwise you're raising little fucking weirdos, little antisocial personality disorder having weirdos.
Somebody else being at this house the night before his house was raided. David's financial manager went on to testify he never asked this live-in security guard whatever happened inside this home. Prosecutors started grilling this financial manager, asking if the security guard ever purchased fake IDs for Celeste, if he ever purchased alcohol or drugs, attended parties, or even drove Celeste or David to parties. And this man on the stand said that he never had those conversations, so basically he's not sure. Beth Silverman started to ask this financial manager about the trips that David and Celeste were taking on United Airlines. He went on to testify that he never
not across state lines with a minor
about the London trip that David and Celeste took with Josh Marshall or David's mother.
you took that girl to London? Run it again?
David and Celeste were taking on United Airlines. He went on to testify that he never talked about the London trip that David and Celeste took with Josh Marshall or David's mother. But he did end up admitting that he did discuss David and Celeste's trip to London with David's day-to-day manager, Robert Morgenroth. He then went on to talk about the airline tickets purchased, and he said that those airline tickets to London seemed to be purchased from David's personal accounts. And they were pointing out how David has this financial account and he was purchasing things by himself like homes, with prosecutors basically trying to show that David was aware of his finances because it will go to financial gain, which is one of the circumstances under the murder charge. And this testimony also goes along with the next witness we have on the stand, who is from Interscope. With him really testifying how much David has made, he testified in 2022 David made $950,000, and in 2023 it was $3.89 million. And this is really all we have right now. They're basically laying the foundation, like I said, for the financial gain part under the murder charge. But hearing about this security guard, who is a new person that we have never heard before, is very interesting because it sounds like they are testifying that this security guard was around David and Celeste a lot. So I really hope we actually get to hear from this security guard or hear more about this security guard and what all he actually knows. And I'll have the transcripts from today's preliminary hearing tomorrow so I can make sure there was no details missed in all of this testimony.
My God, on today. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it right there. But I know what I'll be spending my my little evening doing. Okay, it is going through a lot of this stuff that they've been talking about. But that's just a few things, y'all. My God, on today. I told y'all I felt like Celeste's parents knew they were probably, allegedly, maybe, I don't know, being passed some money or something like that in order to stay quiet about this relationship in the first place, right? I also feel like poor people like to sell their daughters to old men or people, period, who have money. Y'all act like that's not like a common occurrence. But how it'll work sometimes is if she's dating somebody that's older than her, you know she's not supposed to be dating that person. You feel like, well, I might as well not fight her about it because then she'll want to do it even more. But, you know, you're still kind of allowing your child to be in a relationship with an adult. So you're allowing them to be sexually assaulted. We need to come to terms with that. So to me, that's one of them things I will fight about. That's one of them things I will go back and forth about if it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you can't lose your child like that. It's too much going on. Like, you cannot lose your child like that. And you have to figure out good way, better ways to fight for them that aren't just abusive to them. That's another thing. Because a lot of times the parents don't feel much worse. I mean, they don't feel much better than the abusive relationship. The abusive relationship will at least come with the like romantic and sex part of it, which will make you feel good and make you feel cared for and all of that type of shit, right? So, girl, I feel like parents knew about the situation, was probably allowing it to happen, probably was toxic in their household anyway. Probably might have been even incentivized to look the other way while this relationship was taking place, because they did call the police. There were times, y'all, when they reported her missing, which is why I feel like they knew where she was, but there were times where she was gone for longer than she was supposed to be gone. I said that when we first started talking about this. And that would make sense, right? Because if you think she's just about to go spend the weekend and she ended up going to fucking London and she was supposed to be back on Sunday night and she didn't come back to the following fucking Monday, then yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then you would be like, let's call the police, because where the fuck is she? She should have been back by now. Okay? I do feel like there is some accountability for them parents to have, absolutely. Right? But I'm more so interested in all of the people in David's camp that made this possible, because it seemed like a lot of people had to be a part of making that situation happen. Speaking of coordinated events, Stefon Diggs is back on my docket, okay? Stefon Diggs, the legal battle involving NFL star Stefon Diggs continues to escalate after his accuser, Christopher Griffith, claimed he has obtained text messages and phone records that he says support his allegations against the former New England Patriots wide receiver. According to TMZ, Griffith plans to amend his lawsuit to include the newly obtained evidence. Griffith alleges the records, which he says were produced during the discovery process, include text messages from Diggs' assistant coordinating travel and hotel arrangements with one of the men Griffith claims later attacked him. He also alleges phone logs show Diggs contacted one of the alleged assailants while the attack was taking place, pointing to surveillance footage that he says shows the individual on a phone inside his apartment building, inside his apartment building at the time. In addition to the new allegations, Griffith is also seeking to add defamation claim after Diggs recently posted on social media writing, "Mama's a nigga lying on my name." What? Mama's a nigga lying on my name because he got caught stealing, before adding, trying to act like this nigga is a victim because he lying is crazy. Griffith contends the post was defamatory and should be included in the lawsuit. Child, why would you even say that? Mama's a nigga lying on my name. Shut up. Anyway, the latest filing is part of an ongoing legal dispute stemming from Griffith's allegations that Diggs drugged and sexually assaulted him during a 2023 encounter at the athlete's Maryland home. Griffith further claims he was attacked by several men about a week later in an effort to keep him from speaking publicly about the alleged incident. Diggs has repeatedly denied the allegations, previously filing a defamation lawsuit against Griffith and maintaining that the claims are false. Here's the thing. Everybody keeps saying that he stole from him and all of that, like that Chris stole from Stefan, but I heard Stefan stole from Chris, actually. And that when they went and hemmed him up at the elevator, they did not take back Stefan's stuff. They took Chris's stuff. That's what they said. He said it was customized jewelry that he got made for himself. This is something that could be proven, right? If you had customizable jewelry made, you can prove that it's yours, right? And I also feel like, how many times is Stefan gonna accuse people of stealing from him and send homeboys to beat them up instead of calling the appropriate authorities and filing paperwork on that person? You don't move like somebody that I should believe what you're saying, right? I just don't believe, okay? Like, I just don't believe what Stefan is asserting here. I also feel like he acts like a teenager when he talks. Like, he acts very childish. And so I feel like I wouldn't be able to take anything that he said seriously. Yesterday we talked about who we talked about? The people. We talked about somebody, y'all, yesterday, and then y'all brought up Malcolm Jamal Warner. We're gonna get to that. But yeah, y'all, Stefan, I don't believe nothing Stefan says. Chris is becoming more and more credible every day. We'll see how this all plays out, of course. And I'm always open to the possibility that Chris can be, a stunt queen, mad about something else and lying and all of that. Cool. But you still sent your brother and the homeboys to beat him up. So even like with that alone, I'm kind of still gonna be on Chris' side in some capacity, because you sending your homeboys and your brother to beat him up is a sign that something's wrong with you. Like, unless he put his hands on somebody, right? Like the whole stealing bit, you were supposed to like call the police about that shit. You weren't supposed to send your brother and his homeboys to beat nobody up. Right. Everybody not stealing from you every time. And I love Cardi, but please shut the... Oh, yeah. You know what? Since we talking about that, before we get to Malcolm Jamal Warner, let's go to Cardi B, because she did say this.
Could I pick better men? Probably, maybe so, whatever. But even if I do, one thing about it, two things for sure. I'm telling you this since I was 20. Since I was 20. As long as a nigga has a baby mom, fuck a baby mom. As long as a nigga have an ex-girlfriend, just an ex-girlfriend itself, this is going to happen. When I was 20 years old, I was dating this guy. He was dating this crazy ass white girl. Well, he that was an ex-girlfriend. She was obsessed with me. She was obsessed with me. She was calling my house phone. Yeah, I had a house phone and a cell phone. She was calling me to tell him to leave him alone, all that shit. She even came to my job. This skinny little white girl. And then to the point that I was like, girl, could I pick better men properties? I don't want to get you beat up. Leave me alone. Because she was so little. I used to tell her, like, please, I don't want to get you beat up, please. Especially when she that day that she came to my job. And one thing about it, me and my stripper bitches, not even Keita and Sweeney, is like the other ones that I used to hang out with, they will beat the shit out of somebody. I was like, please, girl, leave me alone. Then when I dated that scammer that I dated for 3 years, he had an insane baby mom. Like the bitch was even crazier. The bitch was even crazier. She was just fucking insane. Now, if y'all was around the Tommy era, if y'all was really around the Tommy era, if y'all know me from 2014 to 13,
Yeah.
y'all know too, the baby mom was insane. And the list is gonna go on. So unless a man fucking was born the day before yesterday, I don't want to get or dated a girl, never do this and that. This is what always gonna come with it. I don't know what it is about bitches. I ruffle they fucking feathers really bad. I just do. So BG, I know y'all be expecting me to sometimes be single, be this, be that. I'm not gonna stay single forever. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm not. I need to be entertained. Like life is cool, life is everything, but it's just like the pussy needs love too. Okay.
You can do all that without being in like public relationships with these people. I just want to say that you can. I don't know why y'all don't feel this way, but you could get like companionship. You can get entertained and you can get dick, and you cannot be in relationships with these niggas. What she's talking about is okay. All right, Cardi, hear me out. Hear me out. Could it be not that it's just that you are that girl that, you know, all these women are going to hate because you so fly, right? On some level, at this point, that's kind of true because you are famous. So anytime a man gets, aligned with you on social media and people think that linked with you, and they think y'all together or something like that, then they baby mamas that have issues with them are gonna come out. But this is the common theme that I'm noticing. You choose men that abuse women. When you choose men that abuse women, there is a line of abused women behind them, right? Also, women, they have kind of put triangulation, right? You think that, oh, they so crazy. You ever think that the men you're choosing are playing with these women's minds in some way and creating the triangulation? And see, that's the experience of a spicy Latina bitch, right? The experience of the spicy Latina bitch that grows up, you know, in a mixed black Latina neighborhood and all of that. Y'all are being told by these niggas that you are the better. You're up here. You're pedestalized. I'm really fucking with you. I'm really trying to fuck with you. Like, that is how you are groomed to feel in those relationships. So when you feel like you're different than the last bitch, you think she acting like that because you that girl. She's acting like that because that nigga is abusive and manipulative and is triangulating you guys in some capacity. Or he's done so much damage to an already crazy bitch, which a lot of times niggas do for fun, which you should not want to be with somebody that fucks with a crazy bitch just for fun. And a lot of men do that. And I feel like the men that you pick, they specifically like a crazy bitch. They like to get with women that be doing all of that. And in my experience, the reason why they like it is because it makes them feel good about themselves. It makes them feel like they hot shit, that a girl is willing to act, a woman is willing to act insane about them. It bolsters their ego. It makes them feel like they that nigga if a woman is willing to act crazy. And what they do is they psychologically, emotionally abuse the girl in the relationship in order to play on all of her insecurities to make themselves feel like they that nigga so that she can start acting crazy. Then they leave her after they cheated on her. And then they go to somebody else. They get with you At this point, you're high profile. So then that's going to reignite the pain that they're going through, because what automatically happens when they see you with a fine nigga is that they want y'all to be together. And this automatically makes it seem as if that nigga is not a psychopath. And a woman out there somewhere knows that that nigga's a psychopath. So they're going to say it on the internet, girl. That's just where we are right now. But the way she's metabolizing it as if I'm just that bitch and not I choose men that treat women like shit. So of course there's going to be a crazy bitch along the way. Because that's the karma. The karma is a man can't just go through women's, wreaking havoc on the psyche and the emotions of all of these women, and there's not going to be a woman that's going to make his life hell on the back end. Not saying that there aren't women that initiate this type of shit all on their lonesome, because they are. Okay, we saw that Reindeer Baby movie. We know that there's bitches out here that are just crazy and ain't nobody even trying to fuck with you. Get off me, bitch. What's wrong with you? Like, we know that there's some out there like that. But the men that Cardi B is messing with, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. Those men enjoy having women running behind them. That's just what it is. And so until you pick men that learn how to treat women better, until you choose men that are not kind of pulling on the lesser of your nature all the time, this is what you're going to deal with, because those men come with all of the sins of their past, the women that they've hurt. Listen, not a Dykeman nigga. Oh boy, not a Dykeman nigga, but yeah, he give Dykeman nigga for sure. For sure. For sure. I mean, y'all gonna lie, act like these niggas that y'all like, these very like hyper masculine fuck nigga types. Like, y'all act like y'all don't know how them niggas get down. And a lot of women know, like they know it's gonna be a level of bullshit, but they are entertained, like she said, by the bullshit. However, the issue comes in when y'all bring kids into those toxic relationships that y'all find so fucking fun, because you think that it's not going to affect your kids negatively, and it will. But you're having fun enjoying your toxic relationship, bitch. All right. I'm just saying, like, it ain't just for her. It's for all of the girls. It's for all of the girls. Now, you ain't got no kids, girl. Please go out here and destroy your little psyche all you want to. Because if you think that men over time that are like that are not going to eat away at your psyche, that's how you get them older birds that you be like, ma'am, are you okay? Like, it's because some man has been fucking with their brain for most of their adult life. There's nothing left, bitch. Okay? She's old, but she has not grown. There's no wisdom in there at all. Okay? That happens. That happens. Everything has its, its effects. So let's move on. Listen, there are times. Okay? When, you just want to jug. And sometimes the people who have the best jug are the most problematic, despicable niggas you've ever fucked with. It's a terrible thing to have. It's a terrible thing. Okay? It's a terrible thing. But I think it's happened to most women. And then you have to start to value your inner world more than the gratification of that sex. And in the past, for me, what happened is that eventually I would stop enjoying the sex, because you gotta be playing the game with my mind, and it gotta be working. Like, I used to be very well aware when I was younger that I enjoyed people being able to manipulate me, because how I metabolized it is, that means you know how to talk to me. That means you know how to be charismatic. You know how to be alluring. You know how to try to get my attention, right? That's how I'm metabolizing that as manipulative. When at the end of the day, a person can be alluring and not be manipulative. But I don't understand this, bitch. I'm like 18, okay? And what actually ends up happening is you end up being attracted to people that are putting on a really good show for you. That's what you end up being attracted to. And the niggas that put on the best show for you are trying so hard because they're hiding the fucked up shit that they don't want you to know about yet. I've experienced this way too many times. It's terrible. And to me, more than 3 is way too many. Okay? Across genders, my God, on today. Crazy. The lady is an abuse victim being told by the man that he doesn't really like you. He's just with you for the bag. Same old song. The sex be great, but to be consistent with men like that is a dumb. Listen, it just don't be working out like that all the time. 99% of the dudes with good dick be trash. And what is that about? We need to break this apart because I feel like somebody needs to make us understand why is it so that we can transfer the niggas with sense. Okay? Really, I mean, the answer is for a nigga to be a pleaser. That's your main focus. Let a nigga be a pleaser. Pretty much from there, you figured all the rest of the shit out. But yeah, it is something special about niggas that have so much practice with sex that it is used as a weapon and they know it. Okay? They will use sex as a weapon. Waka! And sometimes the weapon is to get you hooked on it like a drug. Better be careful of niggas that be trying to get you hooked on dick like a drug. You gotta be careful, girl. You'll be out here acting like a fucking crackhead, screaming to your 13-year-old daughter that she trying to take your man from you. Ooh, Lord. Let's get into this. Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow dodges questions about his mother, says that she and their daughter are a unit amid $1.2 million battle. Let's get into it because I don't understand anything that's happening. Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow, Tanisha Warner's careful response to one question from Gayle King is receiving new attention now that her private dispute with his mother has exploded into a $1.2 million court battle. The widow of the Cosby Show actor sat down with the CBS Mornings co-host for her first interview since Malcolm died in an accidental drowning in Costa Rica on July 20th, 2025. The conversation was recorded before Tanisha's lawsuit against Pamela Warner became public, and CBS said its team did not know about the legal dispute at the time. Tanisha primarily discussed losing her husband, raising their 9-year-old daughter, and deciding how to use the limited emotional energy she has while grieving. However, the preview took a noticeable turn when King asked about Tanisha's current relationship with Malcolm's mother. Do you communicate with his mom? Are you close to his mom? King asked. Tanisha began, because where is she? She's in Los Angeles. King followed up. Tanisha responded, yeah, right now, everybody, like all of his family members and who have lost him, they are grieving. It's been the biggest loss for all of us. Tanisha did not directly say whether she and Pamela regularly speak or remain close. Instead, she redirected the conversation towards the bond she formed with her daughter since Malcolm's death. Right now, my daughter and I are just like in terms, like Tanisha said before trailing off advertisement. I don't know why it says advertisement. You guys are a unit, King replied. Yeah, Tanisha confirmed. Tanisha then explained that her daughter receives whatever strength she can gather each day. Look, it's the emotional capacity that I have can be very limited. She said, and so I have to, for myself, decide what do I have to give right now in this moment. And whatever I have to give, the first person to get that is my daughter. And then the second is myself. Meaning I don't have time to go back and forth with his mama about nothing that lady want to argue with me about. That's what that sounds like to me. It also sounds like the lady ain't even here, but she want to fight with me about some damn money. And I'm grieving my husband. I'm grieving her son. That's what that sounds like underlying to me.
This week marks 1 year. I sat down with Tanisha Warner for an exclusive conversation.
And whatever I have to give, the first person to get that is my daughter.
On either side.
Right.
We don't know what Malcolm Jamal Warner had in place before he unfortunately passed away. But the one thing we looked at each other and said almost simultaneously was, we have to get our affairs in order.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Yes, another situation like that. That's unfortunate. It does sound like she's drained. She was still visibly sad in that interview. Yeah, you can see it on her. Like she does look drained. This point, a decent guy will never choose Hold up. At this point, a decent guy will never choose Cardi B. She can't get someone other than a twinkle-toed, purse-lip, thug rapper, ball player type. Child. She could if you know, if that's what she wanted, you know, if that's a space she wanted to be in. But I think, you know, she goes after what she wants. And what she wants is, you know, probably not the healthiest. The way the community reacts when the wife girlfriend speaks on how the deceased black man was is eye-opening. They keep dragging the wife girlfriend. Child, I don't know what they would be dragging her about. Like, these money situations are what they are. That doesn't mean somebody is fucked up. His mother was his business partner for over 40 years. They were very close and he trusted her. His mom is doing exactly what he would want her to do. He left her in charge for a reason. They have if she was left in charge, then why would we be suing the wife for the money then? I don't know. They have a daughter together. She's asking for less than $1.3 million. Think about it. By the time she's 18, that money will be done. If the grandmother cared about her grandchild, she would give her. Also, the mama got the money, and the wife is suing the grandmother. The mama. The wife is suing the mama for the money. Okay, sorry. So this is slightly different from that other situation. Because they just called it a dispute. They didn't really say who was asking for money from who. Let's see. The child is taken care of by the trust. The wife was never added to the trust for the same reason he never got the life insurance. People are different behind closed doors. I don't give a fuck. Like, unless you cared enough to leave her, if you die, why would you not secure her at least with $1 million? My God. Child, I find more often than not, the mamas don't be wanting to share with the wives because they mad you had a wife in the first fucking place. Bitch, you taking my money. Let's see. Somebody wrote a really long paragraph. Like, they know these people. That man had been paying taxes since he was a child. The child is entitled to monthly Social Security, death benefits, and the wife is beneficiary of everything outside the trust. This definitely didn't have to get this far, and it's clearly not about the child. I don't think a grandmother who lost her only child would deprive her grandchild of anything they needed. Why do you assume that? Why do you assume that? People can be terrible to their own people. I don't know where y'all, like, you know, y'all get this shit from, where you can assume the best about everybody all the time as if that's realistic or something. You cannot enforce a deceased man's promises with assets that no longer belong to him. This feels more like a fight to control funds to maintain a lifestyle. Because God forbid a bitch want to maintain how they're living. My God. The family... let's see. The child will be the only one to lose in this fight. The family should be coming together, not fighting over money. He wouldn't want this. They've been together for at least 10 years, if not more. And if during 10 years of the relationship, he did not see it as a priority to update his trust, it was not because he forgot you, may not like it, but he trusted his mother to manage his money. If we're going to honor his wishes, then we should do that. And he wrote them out, nothing to fight about. That sounds fucked up to me. I don't know. It's like the automatic, you know, you're imposing the idea that the wife must have been untrustworthy or somebody who he didn't really like. And so the fact that, you know, nothing was put in place for her, that means that she shouldn't be asking for anything from his estate. This is why I don't like niggas. Because niggas do stuff like this. Niggas will have you in a house having children, sacrificing your fucking life to be in a relationship with them, and then leave your fuck ass mama everything. And now I gotta fight to maintain a reasonable life to what I've become accustomed. Because you wanted to put your mama in control of everything. That don't always mean the woman ain't shit. Sometimes that mean the man ain't shit. Because what the fuck? Anyway. I don't feel like y'all value people even like going through childbirth enough. I feel like women should be getting like some type of like lump sum if they have children with a man. Like, I don't care what type of wife she was. There should be like I don't know, maybe like $100,000 lump sum given to any woman that has a baby for a man. something that would be able to pay somebody in order to be off their feet for, you know, a year and a half. I don't know. I just feel like there should, you know, be things put in place. Looking deeper, he waited a long time to get married and have children. It might be because his mother didn't approve or encourage him to marry. She probably wanted to be first. And if she was his business partner for all those years, it's highly likely that she could have, you know, put things in place in a certain way. Women should always want to be compensated for childbirth. Yeah, I agree. Like, what? Y'all don't get to act like that type of sacrifice doesn't matter in a marriage. Like, that matters. Yeah, that the whole reason that y'all are valuing women a lot of the times is because they could possibly bring children into this world. So the idea that they do and then you don't want to pay them for it on the back end, I don't really like that shit. Anyway, y'all, let's move on. There was an update on the Kendra Scott case. $100,000 bond was granted to the Memphis mother. And a former teacher says that the boy was special needs. And I'm like, what the fuck that's supposed to mean?
Good afternoon, Stephanie. This shooting took place here at around 1.
I hope y'all know that people that special needs, they also know that they not supposed to be with children. They know that. What you think special needs mean?
40 a.m. and it happened at this home right across from me on Travis Road. Now, this all happened after a mother found a man in her house. She says he was hiding under a child's bed. When police arrived, they found the man dead near the front porch. This mother, 36-year-old Kendra Scott, is accused of allegedly shooting a man after he was caught hiding under her child's bed at 1:40 Thursday morning. Authorities have identified the man who was shot as Rodarius Morton. According to police, Morton was invited to the home by a juvenile who allegedly snuck him in through the back door at 1 a.m. Just 30 minutes later, Scott came home. According to the child, Scott was banging on the front door and yelling, "Who's at my house?" The child would later tell police she was scared of Scott because she had a gun in her hand and was angry. According to the child, Scott told her in the past, quote, if she sees a boy in her house, she will put a hole in his. Once the child opened the door, Morton was found hiding under the child's bed. As Morton was leaving the house, both Scott and Morton went out to the porch, and that's when the juvenile says she heard a gunshot. Morton was found shot in the back of the head. Now, Scott is facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder and the employment of a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony.
Kendra Scott stood before the judge draped in a Shelby County jumpsuit, while her family sat in the gallery for emotional support. Her attorneys say that they believe that the state would have a challenge to pursue a first-degree murder charge. Currently, her bond is set at $100,000.
Well, the challenges I'm seeing are for the state in trying to go forward on first-degree murder charges. You've got a woman who is kind of living out your worst nightmare as a parent.
This is the first time your news leader is getting a look at Kendra Scott in person for her bond hearing. She was also ordered to stay away from the victim's family. Scott is charged with fatally shooting Rodarius Morton at her home along the 3000 block of Travis Road. She reportedly told investigators, quote, I did what I had to do.
To expect anybody to be able to act in a cool, calm manner, premeditate any sort of action, is just unrealistic. I think even the best of us, the worst of us, any of us, would be acting irrationally given this set of circumstances.
Morton died from a gunshot wound to the back of his head. Investigators say he was allegedly invited to Scott's residence by a juvenile and entered through the back door at 1 a.m. Scott's attorneys say at this moment they are unsure if the state's new stand your ground law will play a part in this case as they await doorbell footage and an autopsy report.
I don't know enough about what led to the actual shooting. I don't know if there was a scuffle. I don't know if it was an accidental discharge. I just don't know.
The juvenile told police Scott previously told her if she saw a boy in the home, she would shoot him.
It's my understanding that Ms. Scott did not know this person. And I don't know how they met.
Told investigators.
That's something we'll look into. My guess is that this was somebody who was looking for young people online, and he found a vulnerable 13-year-old, and what happened next.
Scott's next appearance in court will be August 3rd.
WREG's Shay Arthur is live tonight after speaking with a former teacher of Morton's.
Perkins says she's the former middle school teacher of Rodarius Morton, who Memphis police say was shot and killed early last Thursday morning in the Walker Homes neighborhood. She said Morton had learning disabilities.
He was special needs, and I was his special
needs teacher. She described him as soft-spoken and respectful, shocked by his death.
Unbelievable. Very, very hurt because the young man that I knew that most people don't know, based off of this story, they don't know him personally like I did.
People look at this and they say, well, he should have been in that situation in the first place.
And I agree.
That's something we'll
I do agree. I do not condone his actions as going and mingling with a 13-year-old. However, when you're cognitively not 20, what do you expect? And then I found out last night that from his sister, no one knew that he was gone away from the house.
Perkins believes Morton thought the girl was older and didn't understand the law.
I just wish she wouldn't have never shot him. That's it. There were so many opportunities for her to stop and think. So many different.
I think she did. I think she told that boy to stay away from her daughter, and he refused. And I feel like he might have been saying something like, yeah, I'll be back around here tomorrow. You can't keep me from around her. Some type of shit like that. He probably said something, and that's why she shot him in the back of the head. That's what I think. I don't like this type of excusing of this behavior because I feel like it makes him look like somebody that didn't know what he was doing. And I think he knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. Why are you hiding under her bed if you don't understand you're not supposed to be there? You understand you're not supposed to be there. Being developmentally challenged doesn't mean that you don't understand right from wrong. And if somebody has already told you to stay your grown ass from around a child, you understand right from wrong. And what the fuck do you mean nobody knew he had left from the house? What you talking about?
Different ways that this could have had a different outcome. So many different ways. Call the police. If you got a gun, hold them there to gunpoint till the police gets there. I do agree. I do not condone his.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all wanted somebody to be like very thoughtful of a predator's life. I think y'all act like these, oh, he was the sweetest, most respectful. Yeah. While fucking a 13-year-old. Now you gonna post all of these pictures of him when he was younger and in middle school. We talking about him as a 20-year-old. There's a difference between the young man that shows up to you at 13, 14, 15, and who he becomes by the time he's a 20-year-old man hiding under the bed of a 13-year-old. And making excuses for that is pissing me off. Like, I hate the fact that you don't think about the little girl that has been traumatized in this situation, because she's still 13, y'all, and her mama just killed her boyfriend or baby daddy or whatever the fuck she was calling a nigga on social media. That happened right in front of her. So this is all very traumatizing and fucked up. Girl, it's 2026. Y'all got to stop having children that y'all can't fully like be there for and take care of. Y'all got to do that. Cause this shit is ridiculous. Real deal ridiculous. So this is another time. Okay, what would you do? Viral video of stepfather removing 18-year-old daughter's bedroom door sparks debate online. So I want to hear what they're talking about in this first clip.
I can explain to my mom. I can explain to my mom.
Shut your mouth.
I can explain to my mom what happened.
I'm talking to your mother.
I can explain to my mom what happened.
I'm talking to your mother. Shut your mouth,
I can
little
explain to
girl.
my mom
I'm
what
not
happened.
talking to you. Your mother
I can
asked me a
explain to my mom
question.
what happened.
Learn your place as a child. Learn your place.
I'm trying to do that.
You're a
No,
child.
I'm illegally
You're
adult.
Oh,
Stop.
because you're
Stop.
18.
Stop.
Because you're 18, you think you're a legal adult. Well, I tell you what, little girl, it's funny though.
She's so happy to have that big black man in her bed. She gonna let him say and do whatever the fuck he gonna say and do, as long as she can have that big black man laying in the bed next to her.
Right, but you need to come back here, right? But you had to come back here.
I'm talking to you when I'm
right,
done.
Your mother asked me a question. I'm talking to your mother.
Legally
Shut your
adult.
mouth when I'm talking to your
Legally
mother.
adult. I can explain to my mom.
Okay. Let's see. Why isn't mom saying anything to him? I want to personally give a shout out to his daughter for sending him my video talking about my experience living with this thing. So thanks, girly. You and your father can get the fuck off my page. Taking the door off a teenage girl's room is wildly inappropriate. Yeah, I don't know what this is about. And then I heard a story. I don't know if it's true, but I heard a story where somebody was saying that a guy removed, a dad removed his daughter's door because she was masturbating.
I don't give a fuck what you ask me. Get your motherfucking hands, man. Come on.
Teenagers are supposed to masturbate. Can you leave them alone while they do that, please? Why do you have to be involved in that in any type of way? That shit pissed me off. Yeah, I think all of the men that do this are weirdos. I think something is wrong with you. I also think there's this weird thing where every type of luxury that a person can have, including having their own solitary space, is seen as some luxury that can be taken away when the parent gets upset. And I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy, and I would never allow a man to take the door off of my kid's room because they are entitled to privacy. This is not prison. I don't care if they did something wrong. They're entitled to their privacy. They literally are. We're not talking about these special situations where, the kid might have drugs in your house and all of that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not talking about those situations. We're talking about a situation where you just merely don't like that she don't like you. She said something about it to her mama or said something about it online and you're upset about it. So now you being mad about how she feels about you means she's disrespecting you and you could take the door off the hinges of an 18-year-old girl. Yeah, no. And then I want to see how many times you're going to walk past her doorway. I want to see how many fucking times you're going to walk past her doorway. Because to me, you want to see her indisposed. You want to see her in the nude or something. You want to be able to see her in her room when, you know what I'm saying? Like in a way that I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's fucking crazy. And I hate that women feel so desperate to be in relationships that y'all will allow men to come into y'all households and do shit like that to y'all kids. That's crazy to me. Like, piss me off, why don't you? Piss me off, why don't you? The fuck? Yeesh. Okay, let's move along, y'all. That really made me upset. And I wish that people would do better. I wish they would stop putting these fucking men at the center of everything. And it's not one of them situations where it's like, I'm looking at them like, because he wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for you, bitch. He wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for you. The hell? Y'all can have these relationships with these men. Make these niggas have their own apartments. Make them have their own life, their own shit going on. No, you can't move into my shit, nigga. No. You live at your house and I'm going to live at my house with my kids because ain't nobody should be coming into your house doing, because what men do is they move into these women's houses and then they want to like exert dominance over everybody. When that shit is so aggravating and unnecessary, and in all honesty, grown-ass men often seem like children having temper tantrums because they come into people's households demanding respect that they have not earned. It's weird. It's weird. Moving on. Other weird niggas. Lil Wayne, y'all. Lil Wayne, is a part of the culture of people that like to convince you they're working so hard. And that's the reason why they are where they are. Not because they were somewhere willing to sell themselves in some way. I'm going to let him rock.
You find it hard to sleep at night?
I don't sleep.
Ever? You don't sleep?
Because I work so much.
Yeah. What time do you go to bed?
I don't have a time.
Well,
Wait, do you really not sleep?
no, you don't.
How many
Like,
hours?
so
No
so
hours?
tell me about this, because I feel like I've had trouble sleeping.
We can tell you don't sleep because of the way your eyes look when you just bugged your eyes out your head like that. That's not healthy for you not to sleep. And I hate the way like rapper niggas say shit like this. Remind me when Diddy would be talking that shit. I don't sleep. Yeah, because you're on drugs. People need rest. Your body needs rest. Your body needs sleep so that it can regenerate itself. Do you know what happens when you sleep? Your body is regenerating itself while you sleep, nigga. Your body needs that. You're not a superhuman niglet or something like that. You're not a teenage mutant nigga turtle and you just don't have to do the same things that everybody else have to do.
What do you do? So are you up from, let's say it's midnight. You're like, okay, I'm going to try to lay down and go to bed. So you're never trying to lay down and go to bed.
You never get in the bed ever?
No.
You never get in a bed?
No.
How do you
So you're
relax?
just awake.
How do you relax? Like, you have to have, when are you know what? I'm going to
I
take a
work
deep breath.
privately, so you know, my studio is my home, and so
When you say
that's
you work,
relaxation for me. You find it hard to sleep?
It gives you're high and you don't know you fell asleep. That's what it's giving. It's giving you was in the studio, you was smoking, and then you fell asleep with the joint in your hand. And you just fell asleep right where you was. And somebody was there and they took the joint out your hand and they let you sleep and you was probably asleep for a few hours. And then you woke up and then got back in the booth. And so you don't characterize that as sleeping. But you would die if you were not sleeping, nigga. You would die. He's always saying shit like that. He's always saying shit like that. Like, dude, like you're not superhuman. You need to sleep. Stop being ignorant. Let's check this. Y'all know, I don't know why. Okay. But Dondre, I feel like, does Dondre think he about to make a career out of being, you know, the man that has sense on the podcast? Is that what Dondre is going to do to offset for his wife being so successful in the entertainment industry? I don't know. Let's find out. I don't know. I'm not sure. Don't be mad at me, Dondre.
I have observed in relationship with friends, when the woman is the breadwinner.
Yes.
Boy, does it get super complicated.
It gets so
but there's
complicated.
two things that are happening.
You know why? Because everybody has to retrain their brain.
So there's two things that are happening at the same time.
Yep.
One, she may feel it's a little bit challenging to regard him as the head of the household when she's the one paying for the household.
So let me get to that real quick. This is good. Black women are under the impression that when they become accomplished and they make more money, that black men are intimidated by them.
Oh.
Do you not agree?
We're under the impression. So you're gaslighting us. Acting like that's not the issue. Like most of these niggas are not literally mad that women have been able to obtain some shit that they haven't been able to obtain, and they're the men. Like, this is a crux of the intersectionality of being a black man in this system. So you gonna act like that's not what's happening? Okay, let's listen.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. There's a huge difference between being intimidated and turned off. If you are not bending over your man, and if you can't beat him up, you can't intimidate him. It's not.
So you think that intimidation only happens from physical threat. That means in your mind, you value men because they can physically overpower a woman. And I think that that's ridiculous. I also think you apparently don't know about the niggas that like to do some of the bending. Listen, before we get out of here, Crystal, I don't know if you're in here, bitch. This is your fault.
Possible. Let's stop.
How this live gonna end? It's Crystal's fault.
Stop the garbage.
Okay.
No man is going to be intimidated by you unless you are bending him over or beating him up.
Y'all, that's so ridiculous. I intimidate men all the time. You can intimidate men by not being easily manipulated, because usually people fall for their manipulation very easily. When they encounter women that they can't easily manipulate, they have a negative response to it every time. And it is an intimidation because your fear is that this person will call you out in such a way that will expose your insecurities. Yeah. Dondre, come on, babe. Like, let's not do that. Like, mental intimidation. Yeah, let's read some of the comments. Tony Baker said, mental intimidation is a real thing. Intellectual intimidation is a real thing. Financial intimidation is a real thing. Highly disagree, because the definition of intimidation is feeling frightened, nervous, or insecure because you feel outmatched or threatened by someone's size, power, or confidence. Intimidation does not have to equal physical domination, but how it can affect a man's ego, which is linked to his power and confidence. Once a man is insecure, depending on who he is, can either become incredibly depressed, aggressive, or even violent. I need to make a video about this. Okay, that's a nigga that look like he know what he's talking about. Firstly, he's barely letting her finish her thought. Secondly, I've 100% encountered men who were intimidated by women who made more. When I tell y'all, at this point, I think every time Dondre comes to us in a podcast form, he is talking to Sally in some type of passive-aggressive manner. Because that, to me, that's what you're telling Sally. You telling Sally, you can't beat my ass, so I'm not intimidated by you, because you don't want to admit that you feel a way for real about her success and your lack of in some capacity. And, you know, that's not her fault. That's not her fault. And you might want to ignore that it's happening and act like that's not what it is, so you won't have to actually deal with it, because the feeling of actually acknowledging that this is what you're doing is worse than coming up with some bullshit like what you just said, which is that because she can't beat your ass, that means that you can't be intimidated by her. I have seen your wife. Your wife really could probably beat your ass. I don't know what you're talking about. If you seen when Sally was on Biker Boys, you know that Sally might be able to have a 1-2, and this nigga might think that he know how to fight because he's strong, but if she faster than him, then she could hem him up real quick. Y'all act like y'all ain't never seen enough. Because most men are relying on the fact that they're just stronger than you, and they're also relying on intimidation of fear because of their size and because they're men. If a woman actually goes to learn how to fight for real, a woman could beat a nigga's ass, especially if they like equal in size or close in size. Because a lot of men don't actually know how to fight. They're just big or they're just strong, but they don't really know how to fight. You get them somewhere with a woman that actually knows combat, that actually knows how to block, that actually knows how to, you know what I'm saying, nigga right quick, kick him in the dick, kick him in the throat, it's over. Like, if you encounter those women, you know they kicking average niggas' ass, because average niggas can't fight, and a lot of you niggas are out of shape. So all I gotta do is punch you in the gut, punch you in the neck, or punch you in the dick if I can get there. If I can get there. Also, y'all act like weaponry is not a thing. Y'all act like y'all can't be harmed in any way by a woman, and you can. Like, if women were actually as diabolical as men are, girl, Dondre, come on, babe. Like, this is just, let's see if there are any more clips from this, because this girl, Dondre.
Men can have whole other families on the other side of town.
Absolutely.
And women find out when the man dies.
But you know what? You know what you're hearing right now?
What am I hearing?
You're hearing the importance of partnering with a man.
What the fuck are you mansplaining what I'm hearing? What?
You need a man.
I do.
I'm not talking about in terms of
need is a very strong word. Need is a very strong word.
I'm not going to say that you need a man, because that's not for me to say.
Yeah.
What you do need is a man.
I do need a man.
You have one. Your big brother is here. We are getting ready to lock in.
Why are you screaming? Calm down.
Now here's what's going to happen.
Wait. You heard it here first, folks. I'm putting him to work. He gonna find me a man.
Girl, you do not want Dondre to find you no man.
Big bro is here. But here's the poison that's being put in the water.
Oh God, he's squinting.
I don't need no man. We can sit here, we can play.
That's not poison. that's an answer to men acting like being with women is a fucking chore, and then coming into women's lives and making them feel guilty about any and everything that you do for them. When men had all of the money, like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, whenever that was, within my mama's lifetime and shit, yeah, they basically held money over women's heads. That's what they did, sweetheart. That's not like women needing men because men were hoarding all of the opportunity, the money, and the access to everything, and keeping women out of everything, and saying women can't have their bank accounts, they can't have a credit card, you can't get a business without a man co-signing. Like, what y'all? I hate when y'all talk like this. Once again, ignoring the truths of the situation for a narrative that suits you, that's really just on some bullshit. A woman does not necessarily need a man. A woman needs people. That doesn't have to be a man. And then if she does feel like she needs a man for sexual healing, she doesn't have to need him in the capacity of him always being there. In the capacity of being in a relationship, that means she has to do some type of fucking labor that this nigga not gonna do. Yeah, no. Melissa Ford can just get dick and companionship. And I'm not saying like, cause I do like, y'all, I highly value the connection and all of that and having a relationship with someone. I like being in relationships myself, y'all. I really do. Finding somebody that you could really gel with and fuck with and be with is a great experience, okay? But at the end of the day, y'all know 9 times out of 10, that's not what's happening. And you just be wanting to be in a relationship because that's what, it's better than being alone. And I'm not like that, because I feel like you can be in a relationship with somebody and you can be alone. And sometimes, and what I have learned in adult years is sometimes your relationships with people are harmful to you. They make you feel bad. And because you think being in a relationship with them is a good thing, you don't let it go. But what I've learned is sometimes when you let go of people that you really wanted a relationship with, you realize that they were depressing you. They were making you feel terrible about yourself, and you needed to get away from them for a certain amount of time in order to recalibrate your emotions, in order to get your anxiety to go back down. So yeah, no, like I'm not going for this type of conversation. I remember one of the first things I told my husband when we first started dating, I don't need a man. I would want one. I would like one. Like I would like a partner. I would like a person, but I don't need one. And that is because I can have relationships with whoever the fuck I want to have relationships with, and I don't have to give them any type of long-term agreement. Like, I can have friends. I can have people I party with. I got people I go to dinner with. I got people I fuck from time to time. I don't need any one specific man to do something for me to be okay as a human being having this human being experience. No. And nobody should feel like that. But because men feel like this about women, men feel like they need women. They feel like women need men. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't necessarily agree with that. Because while women can have lives without men that might not be as emotionally fulfilling as they would like, men apparently can't even take care of themselves long term if they're not in connection to a woman in some capacity. I know a lot of men that would be out here fucked up if it wasn't for a woman in their life. And it's not the other way around. It's not the other way around. In my family, a lot of the real niggas are dead. Like, these men were not physically able to really take care of themselves. A lot of it, I think, is like slowly killing yourself because you hate this life anyway. So you want to do all of these things that make yourself sick and unhealthy, and you don't take care of yourself. So you get out of here early, right? You come in here, you do all of this damage, and then you get out early. Now you're dead and you're gone. Okay? Yeah, no. Girl. You need companionship. You need friendship. You need community. You need, affection. Yes, you need all of those things. And you can get them without being married. You can get them without being in a committed relationship with a toxic nigga. Okay?
Games if y'all want, but we're going to have a real conversation right now. I don't need no man that's killing all of our women. Because let me tell you something. You need a man Whether you are romantically linked with him or not, every man that you know needs a woman. I need my woman.
Okay, I don't know what they mean by that. And I know because they take one conversation and then they make it broad. I hear the men on the internet talk about this all the time in debate. That's why I don't like what he's doing, because I feel like he's getting a lot of his talking points from younger men that are on the internet using ignorant talking points. And it only makes him feel better about, I guess, this imbalance in the power dynamic in their relationship. So that's who he listens to and thinks he can then take that. And because he's married and been married to somebody for a long time, he can kind of take that manosphere shit, repurpose it, and then give it back to the blacker side of the community that he's actually on. I would also love for him to stop yelling, because it shows how angry he actually is, even though he thinks he's not coming off angry. You're coming off angry. Okay? He is projecting. I do not feel like women need men in the form of a romantic relationship. They don't. Okay? Do you need somebody to work at the gas station? Do I need somebody to work at the construction site? I mean, y'all, there are like infrastructure now that at this point in life, no, you're not really needed the way you think you are. There's all this there's machines and shit. There's machines and shit, sir. Like they're like, pistols. There's all kind of shit. Like, people don't know that we don't necessarily need a man. Do you need a community of people that care about you, that will protect you? Do you need, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. And I don't know what y'all talking about, because my daddy taught me to change my own fucking tire. Am I going to do it? No, because I have a man and I have AAA. But if I did not have one, I would just use AAA. And then if I didn't have AAA, I would just do it myself. You see how at the end of the day, I really didn't need a person to do something? It's nice to have people to do things for you. Just like I'm sure it's nice for me to do the shit that I do for him. You see what I'm saying? This is like an equal exchange thing. But ultimately, I feel like we would both be able to be self-sufficient as human beings if we were not in a relationship with each other. If we spent the rest of our lives single, we would be perfectly fine, because we know people that are single.
Because my woman has the ability to be able to see what I can't. Mm-hmm. She needs her man because I have the ability to see what she cannot.
Yeah, he's definitely hot and bothered. I'm glad you called this podcast that, because this nigga is hot. This nigga is bothered.
Hi, I'm Dondre Whitfield, and I'm coming up on the next episode of Hot and Bothered with my sister, Melissa Ford.
And I'm going to yell at her.
Hi.
Yeah. Dondre drops gems. I don't know. I feel like, I think people are remedial as fuck, because they be thinking shit that I feel like is just so stupid. They think it's really smart. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. Because I'm like, y'all thought that nigga said was smart? I thought it was manipulative and a way to give his wife a public lashing without actually calling it that. That's what I thought. Okay, so what time is it? Okay, yeah, we're gonna do this last thing, and then I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Because there's always more to talk about. But we're gonna blame We're gonna blame the homegirl Crystal. Okay, Crystal Brewer. Yeah, we're gonna blame you for this, sis. Because I need y'all to hear yourselves sometimes. Y'all know we're talking about this bisexual conversation, and I feel like this is kind of like a part of that. Like, it's not the exact same conversation, but it's very similar, right? We need to have a conversation about how you hoes are living your life. I'm so glad she turned the comments off. I would not have seen this if Crystal had not reposted this shit. It's from June 22nd. It's not even like anything. It's from 2 weeks ago, okay? But I saw this and I said, see, this is the type of shit that we be talking about. What's wrong with y'all?
All right, so I guess I'll start from when I met my husband. I met him through some female friends that I have. We actually have mutual female friends. And I used to see him, with
First two red flags, using the word female like that, and also not changing the battery in your fire detector so it keeps doing that little beeping thing. People, I don't know what's wrong with y'all, but I feel like something be wrong with people that ignore that beeping sound. Like the people that I know that live in houses and ignore that beeping sound, they be a little off. in various ways.
With them all the time, and I was kind of curious to who he was, why he always with the girls, and you know, it kind of went from there. So we ended up meeting in person, and we ended up talking, and he asked me on a date. So for our first date, he came to pick me up, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all, and y'all gonna tell me up in the comments, I already know, but I didn't like his car. I hated his car. It was a raggedy car to me. And on top of that, when I got in the car smelled like smoke. So I was irked. So I told him, bring me back home or whatever. And I told him I didn't feel good. Bring me back home. So he brought me back home. And when we got home, when I got to my house, we ended up talking before I got out the car. And I realized, damn, now an hour had then passed. We talking, we laughing, we kicking it. So I get out the car and I'm like, you know, he not bad. So I go inside. He ended up calling me maybe 20 minutes later and told me to come downstairs. I go downstairs. He got like flowers for me. He got medicine because I told him I didn't feel good. He got cake. It was like very thoughtful, right? So he kind of won me over with that. Bam. At the time, I'm in church, you know, because I'm still on my grieving journey, my healing journey. So I'm going to church. I'm praying for God to send me a husband. This man immediately starts talking about marriage, starts talking about providing, taking care of me. So
telling you everything you want to hear.
You know, I'm like, this must be my husband. God must have sent him.
That's another mistake that y'all make. That's another mistake that people make. Not just y'all, me, myself as well. Automatically putting some spiritual significance onto you finding a man when men is out here just looking for women.
So me and him sneak away and get married. But
why would you have to sneak away and get married to a man? How long? Because it feel like you ain't even know the man like that.
The very first red flag, we go out one night. And like I say, we have mutual female friends. So one of the friends, I told him, she always texts me and check on my mental health. And I'm like, you know, I love her for that. And so he like, who? So I told him who. And he like, man, you know she gay, right? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. And he like, yeah, she only texting you because she wants you. That whole trying to backdoor me.
When I tell you, I feel like I've been like, you know, I think people have felt like that about me at times, and it's like, yeah, no, that's never what's happening with me. I don't even move like that. But I hate when people do that. Like if a nigga know your homegirl is bi or gay or something like that, they would tell her like you gonna sneakingly try to fuck her or something like that. I'm like, trust me, bitch, you'll never have to worry about that with me. I am very upfront if I want. Like what? Listen, I don't even want to fuck anybody enough for me to not say anything, okay? I'm floored and surprised whenever I see somebody that makes my eye twinkle. I don't see them often, okay? I see the one that come in this house every day. That's about it. But when I'm outside, child, ain't nobody out there like that. Mm-mm.
So I'm like, what?
Don't think that. Don't think that, nigga. Don't think that. That's weird. Also, I feel like in this moment, he was telling on himself. You just got to say somebody gay, huh?
Never got out the way with me. So we go to the club. She's there. They not talking at the time. They beefing for whatever reason, which is strange. Like, why is a man, grown man, beefing with a woman or whatever? They beefing, and she comes and she speaks to me. She give me a hug, and she like stick her middle finger up at him, you know, like some play shit. So he is hot. I'm talking about he's shaking. He telling me, come on, let's go. He won't leave the club, and the club was jumping that night. But anyway, I'm like, I was so confused or whatever. So he like, man, you playing in my face with her. She wants you and this and that. All right, so.
Okay, hold up, because we gotta go to the rest. We gotta go to the rest. Hold up. Yeah, she from New Orleans, y'all. It's obvious, okay? It's very, 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 very obvious, okay?
So, yeah, I was completely turned off. Like, to me, that was bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you beefing with a woman that you think like your woman? Even if she did, like, huh? But anyway.
Right, like, what you that
fast
mad
forward,
for?
we ended up having a conversation, and I'm a Josa. And if you're not from New Orleans, Josa pretty much means, like, a person that play a lot. You know, so I've had this conversation with a few men in my lifetime. You know, I've asked this question before just to see where a man's head is at. So I asked him, how do you feel about a woman, you know, playing with a man ass? Like, he like, what you mean? I'm like, you know, like sticking her fingers in his ass. And he said, you know, anything done between a woman and a man is not gay to me. He said, how you feel about it? And I said, you know, I always felt like once I get married, you know, I'm willing to try new things or whatever. I feel like in a marriage, you know, the sky's the limit.
Okay. And so she go on to say, because we ain't got to stick through all of this beeping and shit, but I wanted y'all to hear that part. Because the main thing is I feel like you went and married a nigga you did not know. You find out after marrying him, he got whole like qualities, arguing with a woman. And then you introduce a conversation about playing in his ass. Why would you introduce? And this is what I be talking about when I say the women be looking for this shit and then they act like somebody's like, you know, doing something to them. But this is weird to me for you to initiate putting a finger in there. And then when he, you know, kind of asks for it to happen in the confines of the marriage while y'all are having sex, after you cry about it. She said that after she did it, because she did it, she laid there and cried. And then after that, she felt differently about him, everything about him. You know, why he talking like that? You know, everything is feminized about him now. And this is what the fuck I was talking about when I was talking about women that be like really trying to make sure that a man is not in any way, shape, or form outside of how they agree a masculine man should be. But at the same time, you will talk about it, engage with him about it, as if you was trying to trick him or something like that. That is so fucking weird to me. Like, I'm not looking at him like he weird because he might possibly, you know, be fucking niggas and just ain't tell you about it or something like that. And I mean, like, before y'all got together. My problem comes in when you initiate these types of things, make a nigga feel safe with you, y'all do it, and then you proceed to shame and guilt them about it because you feel bad about it. Another thing is, why do y'all put a pedestal on marriage like that? Stop putting a pedestal on marriage to where you are willing to do things sexually with your husband that you've never tried before in real life. That's stupid. Because now you waited until you married somebody to try some shit you've never done before, all for you to end up fucking crying because it made you feel bad. What? I don't know what the big deal is either, right? Because, you know, I also feel like whatever a man does with a woman, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see the problem. Like, you know, I don't want to do it, okay? Just because I don't want to be up in no man's ass. Like, I'm going to just be honest with y'all. I have no need you know, earthly feeling. Like, I don't want to be around no man's ass. And that's just because, like, it's a man's ass. Like, that's, I don't know about, okay? I'm just not trying to do that. That's just not where I'm at with it, okay? But at the same time, I don't know if I would be, like, judgmental about it. But I'm annoyed with the fact that she initiated that, did it, and then proceeded to shame him and then treat him badly for it. And then when he starts being like, fuck you back, and knowing that you treating him badly because of something you initiated, it made him feel bad. So now he like, fuck you. So in her mind, and then also to catch everybody's eye to watch the story, putting a finger in his ass is what destroyed the marriage. Not you not knowing that man, not you not getting to know him, not you initiating butt play and then making him feel bad about it like a fucking weirdo. Like, not all of that. Girl, that's crazy as hell. You was really like just naming a whole bunch of stuff to try to make that man look like a bitch to tell us that you initiated ass play with him, and then when he liked it, you cried about it? And this is what we be talking about when we say, like, y'all make it hard for niggas. Some of y'all make it hard for niggas. Because what was the point of that? What was the point of even initiating that in order to turn around and make the man feel like shit about it? What was the point of that? Like, I don't get it, y'all. Can y'all tell me what would be the point of initiating something that you didn't even really want to do? Also, you can turn around.
I want to shout out
and make the man feel like shit about it. I was at a loss. Blame Crystal for that. Yeah, and then told the whole internet. And this is what everybody be talking about when they say, like, women have to take some accountability in the like the biphobia of it all. Not to say that this man is, but what she did is homophobic shit, right? First of all, you're publicly humiliating him for something that y'all did in the privacy of y'all bedroom, for one. And then it was something that you initiated because you brought it up and made him feel comfortable. And that's a weird thing to me, to see women try to see if a man is into something so you could try to catch him up, but then you went along with it and you did it. Like, I don't get it. I also thought that at this point, y'all knew that, a lot of them niggas, these new niggas and all of that. I thought y'all was cool with that. I thought y'all was eating ass and sticking fingers in that. I thought y'all was doing whatever these niggas, was really into. It's cool. It's cool to be like, about sexual pleasure with a person and whatever they into and whatever you into, y'all do and be comfortable about it. But it's also really cool if you're not comfortable to not try to, like, shame somebody and be trying to make it seem like something wrong with them and they just a punk. Because that's what you was basically doing. That's fucked up to me. And that's the homophobia that we be talking about when it comes to, like, black women. Because that's the type of shit, like, that's goings on. You could have just not brought that up at all. You could have said, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. But instead, you wanted to create a scenario for you to be a victim in something you initiated. I don't understand. It's sad. There are so many kinks that should be taboo. But bud play between adults should not be that big of a deal. I don't think so either. But it's only because of the way people think about penetration and how they think about men that enjoy it. And that automatically means, you're weak and you're not a real man and all of this shit. And then you pair that with the fact that y'all like bitch ass niggas anyway. And then y'all think the gay shit is why they a bitch ass nigga. Nah, y'all just be attracted to bitch ass niggas. There's a lot of niggas out there that do that stuff and they don't act like bitch ass niggas. But y'all not attracted to them. Y'all like bitch ass niggas. Niggas that do a lot of vibrato and pumping their chests up and pretending like they big and bad and all of this shit. Y'all like them stupid ass niggas. And then when you get in the bedroom with them and they like shit like that, now you all feeling, confused and all of that. That's because that's not real. That's always a performance, bitch. It's always a performance for a nigga to be beating on their chest and doing all of that hard shit all the time. She sure did. The sky is the limit, lying ass. Like, what kind of shit is that, bro? That's some manipulative kind of sick shit to do to somebody. Like, I felt bad for the nigga. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he would ever have brought this up. This is on her. Crazy. I definitely agree with you. Like, that shit is wild. I was like, girl, why would you do that to that man? That's terrible. People do way too much for sexual pleasure and talk too much about their sexual life, which should be private. I don't know about that. People do way too much for sexual pleasure. I don't know. I mean, yeah. But I don't know. Like, should he not want, should he not like, the finger in the butt? Like, should he not? Like, or is that okay? Because, bitch, you brought it up. Believe me, if a man is abusive, eventually he will be abusive with you. Cardi is not exempt. That they talking about from Cardi. Okay. Some people are not adventurous. People should find others at their speed. Yes, they should. They absolutely should. But also, what the fuck is you meeting a man, asking him about something, then doing it, going along with it, and then being mad at him about it? Like, what the fuck is you doing that for? I also feel like it's a lot of exploration. We're not allowed to, like, be sexually curious and find out what we like and what type of people we're like, because then you're called a hoe. That's another thing. So, this purity standard of having to figure out what you like sexually only with somebody that you have signed a contract with. Because if not, you're a slut. Yeah, that's weird. I think that's weird. I think we need to break that idea that women can't, or people, period, can't be sexually explorative. Like, there are contraceptives. There are ways to protect yourself. People don't have to be, abstinent from sex all the time just because y'all want to act like that's what's the, that's what God wants you to do, or that's the most pure thing to do, or that's the safest thing to do. Yeah, but there's an in-between. I feel like people think you either not fucking at all or you fucking 200 people, and I think that's odd. Like, I think it's odd the way people be talking about sex sometimes. And I do feel like we need to talk about sex because people have a lot of misconceptions and terrible attitudes surrounding it, which are harmful. So yeah, you got to talk about it. Square Biz, thank you for the super chat. Love your intro music and pictures. For some reason, it takes me back home to Ghana. Bondi, you are my favorite, CC. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I think I read, is it Le Monique? I read yours. Thank you. Graduated Thought. Hey, love. Thank you so much for the super chat. If the assault happened in international waters, he probably won a jurisdiction issue, a technicality. Who are we talking about? I forgot who he was talking about, but I know somebody got off on something, on some technicality shit. I forgot.
Come on now, Dominique Morgan.
Oh my God. I listen. I don't know why everybody always got to be, girl. Anyway, everybody always got to be beefing, bitch. All right, I'm about to go get my life together and work out. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. BondyBlue Bites. Please follow my other channel. I just made 10,000 over there. Thank y'all so much for that. Keep it up. Can y'all please make sure y'all go and follow BondyBlue Bites, subscribe to that channel because, y'all can watch the clips of these long form lives. So if you miss something, it's categorized by what actually, what the title of the topic was there. So follow BondyBlue Bites, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. And I will see y'all in the next one. And yes, Ooh Ladies First panel is tonight on Jamie That's Me's channel. And don't forget, our live show is in Atlanta at the end of September. So if y'all want to come purchase your tickets, the link will be down below in the description box. Come through Ooh Ladies First podcast live show in Atlanta. Thank y'all. Have a good rest of your day.